Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism Towards Nationhood, building a global Black business pipeline. Yes, family, and you're here with Bomani Tyehimba and Kala Genesis, and we are the kings of Pan-Africanism and nationhood. So yes, family, we are back live and uncut, for another episode this 2023. And family, we only get stronger. Yes, my brother Kala, are you ready for tonight's topic?
You know I'm ready, brother.
Perfect. Tonight's topic, work ethics, no free lunch. Get your money right before going to Africa to build a Black nation. Afrikstan Analysis. Get the BAO app, Global Pipeline App. So family, remember, get the BAIO Global Pipeline App. So you're with Kala Genesis and Bomani Tyehimba, family, and we're here just getting stronger and stronger. And tonight's subject, as we usually do, come up with some unique Pan-African strategy, Pan-African topic, Pan-African discussion, straight about nationhood, nation building. Now, we're not here to talk about the president of the U.S. We're not here to talk about the senator race or the governor race. We're not here to chase ambulance. We're here to get right to the point.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about black males versus black females and all this kind of stupid stuff. Why black women are divesting and all this kind of stupid stuff. We ain't here for all that.
There you go, family. We're keeping it straight real. And always, family, I'm always letting you know any documentation that you hear me talk about, always telling you that you can find those details on our website at africafortheafricans.org and giving you that straight connection to the motherland. And all you have to do is go on our website. Once you get on our website, you have a whole world of documentation at your fingertips for you to join our journey of a lifetime, for you to learn about consultation, repatriation, nation building, investing, and connecting to Africa the best way. And as soon as you get to our website, you have this big black banner with red, green, and gold. And then you have a whole lot of just beautiful photos of us across the African continent enjoying paradise on the journey of a lifetime. And one of our more popular journeys are the journeys to Ghana, which we have done 22 of those, and the journey to Tanzania, which we have done 3 of those, and then many other countries. And as we scroll down, this gets you right to the point. And then people ask about the schedule. This is the schedule, and my goal is to work on some fresh new schedules and continue on from the last schedule that we have on here, which is that incredible Liberia tour, March 29th to April 9th, 2024, for a budget price of $4,000. Yes, we're gonna hold that price as long as we can before we up it, because everything is subject to change. But at the same time, too, we wanted to make that the budget journey to this, get as many people interested as possible. And yes, family, we're gonna make sure you get 4-star accommodations, so you don't have to worry about what you're gonna be doing in Liberia. You don't have to worry about if the power gonna go out or the water gonna go out. We're gonna make sure that you're somewhere where you're in tropical paradise for real. Yeah. So this wonderful schedule kicks off, family, in the next 2 months coming up. So that's the break I have in between, and it's not really a break because you're always working. Before we get ready for another journey of a lifetime, and this one's to Senegal and Gambia. That's March 29th to April 9th. Then we head on to Ghana after in between break, and that will be May 24th to June 5th. And then we're gonna be off to Rwanda. So it's kind of like West Africa, then East Africa, then take you to Southern Africa kind of journey. So then we go to Tanzania, and that is November 16th to the 27th. Then we're off to South Africa, December 24th to January 4th. And so we're just breaking from Christmas to New Year's. Then we have that Foundation Liberia Reconnection and Investment tour, which we look to make one of our most incredible journeys of a lifetime. So that is on there. So family, and as time go along, we'll build more energy and take you on an incredible journey for lifetime. And as you're scrolling down through our website, these are all updates from conference calls to tour details to just any updates that we have. Short paragraph of text with a whole lot of links of important information. These are the same links that you'll find on the main menu. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then a whole lot of Facebook group pages, including the land investment opportunities and Black Pan-African development. So that is another link too, as we looking to connect people, all energies. So these are our last 30 plus journeys of a lifetime right here. And that's from 2006 to 2022. And these are our last two, Ghana and Tanzania. And, as you can see, all the classic Africa for Africans t-shirt, people all say, can this guy come up with some more colors? I tell people my color combination is incredible. I've not duplicated t-shirts yet. There's a whole bunch of different colors. So you'll see red, black, green, gold. You even see blue. And you see, based on the colors of the flag, based on the energy, we're just here to mix it up. And you scroll down, so I'm always telling people, the longevity, being able to stand the test of time is not no simple thing. It's a serious thing. It's something that, you can you can just be that person today where, you tell people that you're the prince of this and the prince of that, and then get people excited because people love to hear about a Black man being a prince. But I tell people, we're the kings of Pan-Africanism and the kings of nationhood. So we're here to provide proper leadership. We're just not here to call ourselves princes and things like that and play around like, with some young boys. This is a real game. It's our lives. As you can see, fam, when you're taking all these different brothers and sisters across the African continent, you got to be about your business. You got to have things organized. You have to have things ready. You have to have a program. And that's what we provide, family. Africa for the Africans, tourism investment, straight program. Just like as we expand into Black Star Pan-African community, building a program of repatriation, a program of nation building, a program so we can work together, live and do business in Africa at the highest level. Because me and Kala about to break it down for you tonight. And some of you folks, you're gonna be heartbroken. You're gonna be like, Kala, take it easy on me, take it easy on me. I know I made some decisions. Kala's not gonna let up on you, man. That's what they call him, Kala Thanos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna
He's gonna set the fire on you. He's gonna bring brimstone and fire on you and let you know, hey, you know what I'm saying? We have to make proper decisions so we can build a real future for our children in the future. Because the way we're going, we're gonna leave them nothing. We're just gonna hand the kingdom over to the Mexicans.
Yeah.
I know Kala's getting excited, man. He's like, but as we're looking at the family, serious business, man. These are all journeys of a lifetime. Appreciate all my brothers and sisters. Well over 600 of us, as you see on all these journeys. I've traveled Africa with us across many different countries, and groups as small as 8 and groups as big as 42, 43. The journey of a lifetime takes you there, and especially when you see, it's like, let me go back up. You see, people seeing these years, they're like, they're like, that's what Bomani talk about the Trump years. Yeah, I was just not saying like Trump like made our groups big and everything, but these are the Trump years. These are the years. You see the difference in the size of the group. They're twice as big.
Yeah.
So I'm telling people, I was like, hey, man, I was like, nah, Bomani didn't fall off, man. Corona wiped most of the people. It just wiped out of business. We've been able to maintain, and that's what we have done over the period of time. And that's what you call when you're doing legacy building, when you're doing nation building. You're gonna go through the time of from the Great Depression to the world financial crisis to Ebola to COVID-19 pandemic. You're gonna go through it, and that's a test to see if you can stand the test of time. And it's nothing personal. Other people are going through it, but it just shows you how dedicated we are to this, stay in the game and make this whole operation work. The great connection from Africa to America, from America to Africa. And so, it's still am I still in the Trump years?
Yeah, it says 2016, 2015. All right, 2015 was Obama.
Yeah, so when you saw those size of groups, and those are like our tour members minus a few people, sometimes that camera shy that, oh my God, that means, hey, Bomani's taking a group picture, let me hide from him. I don't want him to make me famous.
Yeah, people like, I don't like how I look, man. I put on a few pounds when that camera shot people.
And then these are the early years right there, family, 2008 and 2007. So that's what we do. So we have standard tested time, and I remember this first picture right here, December 2006. It's kind of like you're sitting there, man, like where do we go from here?
Yeah.
So from that time frame to where you see March 29 to April 9, 2023, Senegal and the Gambia roots and culture journey, of a lifetime tour, limited space reserved, a journey of a lifetime. So that's what we do, family. And then you on the website, just go to the top, and it cruises to the top, and then you're back to the wonderful playlist and beautiful energy of incredible slideshows. I'm always adding new pictures in the slideshow right here of us all over the African continent. And people like these guys rock with the same color. Yes, family. That's even Bomani the model pops up sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then this is me right here with all of the children in the neighborhood right there. Bam, different color Africa for the African shirts, rocking the colors, rocking the energy. So, Kala, we're keeping it strong, keeping it real. Let people know that this is serious business, man.
Real business.
We didn't come to we didn't come to play. We didn't come to entertain. We came to build a pathway to the future. We came to do straight nation building. So that's it right there, family. The big banner, as you see it, Pan-Africanism towards nationhood. So tonight's topic, again, family, work ethics, no free lunch. Get your money right before going to Africa to build a black nation. The Afrikstan Analysis. And family, we're saying this because we know the game, we know the situation, and we want you to make sure that we're not giving you bad advice. You know what I mean? Because when you build your way up into leadership, whether you call yourself a prince or a king or whatever, or you call yourself an organizer or leader, you're responsible for, because you have people following you, you have people trusting in you, you have people consulting in you, and it's up to you to give the right advice. Now, one of the worst advice you can give people is just tell people to quit their job and then run off to Africa and go to Africa and enjoy paradise because America is bad. Terrible advice, terrible situation. I mean? Family, slow down. You know what I'm saying? If you're ready to go to Africa, I can take you on a journey of a lifetime to Africa, and you enjoy it 2 weeks or enjoy a few weeks here. Hey, and enjoy, and then come back. And if you really want to be in Africa and live in Africa, then we can sit down and plan properly so you can work with the right people so we can get this right and get it done properly. And you really enjoy paradise at a high level, you know what I'm saying? With maximum impact, family. That's how we're doing. We're not just trying to this, when we deliver, the goal is to just deliver and just cause an energy to where you get it, you understand what we're talking about, and so we're gonna lead you by example. We're not gonna be like some of these people who these state consultants. Don't be giving them $400, $500, $600 an hour to study about nothing. Don't have any experience of what's going on because all they do is their own individual projects. They're not out there building anything to where it's a group operation to where they can tell you properly what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean? So family, again, this is about straight work ethics, being organized. Right here. I know Kala loved free lunch back in the days. Kala, it's no free lunch, brother.
I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Tell people about that free lunch, though, man. People probably got accustomed to that free lunch that you and I used to enjoy back in New York City, back in our teenage days.
Any rec center, whatever, in the city, right? You know what I'm saying? You got that free lunch. What made people behave, what made people listen was the fact that at 12 o'clock when that brown bag came in and whatnot. They used to bring out the brown bag. Yeah, you got 2 bologna cheese sandwiches, some chips, some sliced oranges or banana, some chips, and you had that those little Kool-Aid things that you just pop the thing off with, and little Kool-Aid drinks, whatever.
You remember the exact menu, man.
Yeah, remember that shit, bro. That was the shit, man. I can't wait to free lunch or whatnot, and that was the shit, man. Back in the inner city, man. New York City. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, New York City. I'm a New York City kid, right? New York City took care of us, man. From the days of
I mean, New York City is
party.
incredible, man. I mean, literally the most incredible city that the world have ever seen on the
That's
planet.
what I'm saying. We're products
With,
of New York City.
with some of the most incredible infrastructure. I know people like, well, New York City is old, and so yeah, I know some of the things are older, but one thing I always give credit is that people they're always working on things, upgrading it, and taking it to another level. But yeah, I mean, what do you expect for being one of the oldest modern cities in the world?
We had
and then
subways. You can go to all parts of the city, the subway and whatnot. We used to always look at the subways all raggedy and everything. And then when you go to another country where they ain't got no subway, you're like, damn, New York's like 150 years ahead of the rest of the fucking planet. That RIT was built in 1911.
From Brooklyn right there.
Subways going underneath the city, underneath the water and everything. You pop up in Manhattan, you pop up in Brooklyn, you pop up in the Bronx. The only part of the subway you go to is Staten Island, That was the only part.
Yeah, brother. If you're building anything modern, you looked at what New York built. Example, if you at Dubai, you're gonna build the Burj Khalifa. What that remind you of? The Empire State Building, right?
Yep.
As a matter of fact, when you go do the tour for the Empire State Building and you do the one for the Burj Khalifa, it's similar. But so you like who copied who got and you already know Dubai. They say copy whatever they can find out there, the planet.
Right.
And then most of what they copy is
New
gonna be
was a template of the modern civilization. And I'll be proud like look, the black people that came from the South and the Caribbean were part of the building that city. Make no mistake about that,
Flatbush, baby, Flatbush, I'm saying? Straight different parts of Brooklyn and everything.
Queens, Brooklyn, all that shit like that. Black labor built New York City. The longshoremen, the roads you see, and everything like that. Dying in the subway systems. My grandfather worked at Con Edison. And
Edison, man, there you go, man. Hey, better pay that light bill, man. Get that power shut off.
Light bill, And that's another thing, folks. What New York City taught us? Responsibility, work ethic, right? You had to work hard, right, to feed your family. You had to pay that light bill because no sister want to be like it. You don't want to be that dude to come home. And everybody on the block looking at you like, your lights off and whatnot. So that pushed you to get out there and do what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? To be like, that the boss on your job could call you a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But you just had to sit there and suck it up. You got dudes nowadays, man, they can't work a job. They can't go out there and work a job. They want everything soft. Let me tell you something, folks, right? When we talk about nation building, right? If you come and work with us and whatnot, we're going to be as good as possible, but there's going to be shit you ain't going to want to do. There's going to be hard times and whatnot. You're going to have to break your ass, everything like that. Are you ready for that? Or you think this is going to be some smooth ride and whatnot? You think this is going to be a 3-hour session on YouTube? No, it's not. You hit the ground with us, man, you're going to get to work. Ain't nobody going to be sitting idle. You got to have a work ethic. You got to know how to take command. When somebody's in charge, somebody's in the boss and whatnot, you got to follow orders. A lot of people are like, oh, man, I'm just going to go to Africa and just chill and whatnot. Nah, we have too many deadbeats on the continent, right? People with no work ethic. And then no matter what they try to do, it never goes up because if you don't have a basic work ethic, nothing you do is going to work. It's going to be scams, schemes, and I promise you, this is working out and whatnot, And I'm looking at 3 years have passed, and I'm seeing people that I've been listening to for 3 years when I say they got something, and I haven't seen anything. Why? Because the bottom line is you can't escape the reality of it takes hard work. Nothing's free. Nobody you can't just say, okay, we're going to build in Africa. First of all, I want to see what you built in America. Okay. I want to see if you had a business here, Have you went through the trials and tribulation of working? I had one of the businesses I had before. I was in insurance 15 years, but my brothers, we did a side business called medical transportation, right? And we did that for a year. We didn't see a dime. But guess what? Payroll was met and our drivers and everybody made money, made money. And I made sure that, we made sure all your bills are paid, the overhead, everything like that was paid for. The maintenance on the vehicle had to pay for, and we didn't make a dime. So we said, something, this business is not for us. It costs us too much money and everything. So we abandoned the business, and tens of thousands of dollars lost and whatnot. We just recently paid off all the debt and everything, so now we can move on to something else. besides what we do right now, insurance. But the thing is, though, it took a dedication. I had to get up, in addition to doing insurance right here, I had to get up 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes my driver couldn't make it. I had to do the route, and stuff like that. And get up 5 o'clock in the morning, make sure those people got to their appointments and everything like that, And then at the same time, when we did everything, the payroll, I didn't get a dime, right? My drivers and all of them got paid. They were making money. They were saying they got it. And like I told you about the one driver that crashed my van. Remember I told you about that? He crashed my van, right? We got to come out of money for a van, a Honda Odyssey. And then it's the same day, I got to go and hand him a paycheck. I couldn't say, no, I'm taking inside your paycheck. I had to hand him the money he worked for, right? Are you ready to do that? You're ready to do that. Do you understand? Business is not all that you sit back. I got a business. We're just making money. Yeah, that's not a business. It's a hustle. When you have a real business, you got obligations, you got overhead, you got payroll, you got all stuff like that. You got taxation, And so therefore, that's what we're talking about. So we talk about business on the African continent. It's going to be even more challenging. Where you get your capital from, Do you have a line of credit? Do you have all these things? Are you solvent? Do you have collateral? Do you have all this stuff backing you up and everything? If you don't, then you sit back and listen. So people are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go there. Okay, you go to Africa. We talked about, yeah, we're gonna pay you, but you're gonna be paid with village idiot wages, Romani. Village idiot wages. Are you willing to work? Are you willing to work for $100 a month? That's what the going wage is. And again, not to diss my brothers and sisters and haven't gotten it, but that's what the wage is, right? Are you willing to take that thing? Do you think you're gonna be making like $4,000 a month living on the African continent? No, it's not that sort of thing. So therefore, like I said, but still though, whatever you do, you still got to put 100% in. You got you're not gonna get rich. A lot of times, the business you do is gonna lose money. So working together and everything like that, you could basically save yourself a lot of headache and time and stuff like that. But getting back to work ethic is, we have a work ethic. Like Bomani has a work ethic. I have a work ethic. Bomani got a super work. He got the Jamaican work ethic. His brother works around the clock, 24 hours a day, conferencing, doing stuff and everything. He got incredible strength ever since I've known him. And you see the manifestation of his work. You cannot hide this. All those tours he put together. Other people would have died doing
For real, man.
what he's done. The strength this brother has and putting this together. So what I'm saying is, if you really want to get into a Pan-African movement, this is a brother you want to get behind because he gives everything 100%. And he has an incredible work ethic. And he's very, very professional. So. This is what we're talking about tonight. Not taking shots at anybody, but I think there's too many people advising people about the continent, giving ill advice to the continent. Is based on emotion, and like I said, there's African Pan-African enthusiasm, and there's Pan-African realism. We give you the real thing. We're not gonna tell you, oh yeah, or so cop pissed you off, right? Or so cop has some words for you. Now it's time to go to the continent. And I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people don't like when I say this, but I'm sorry for entertaining that. It's just the same thing you think you're running from. You'll be waiting for you on the continent. You saw that with R. Kathy. She had a meltdown. Oh yeah. You're going to complain about racism in America, right? But there's problems in Africa that's going to irk you too.
There you go. And these people you're talking about, it's not no test of time. Within 1, 2, 3 years, they're done.
Yeah, I gotta go.
I mean, and we're still, me and Kala still here, man. The kings of Pan-Africanism,
right.
Nationhood, we're still here. That shows you how serious it is. So imagine if you just come in and try to just do what you think you can do. Let's see how long you can last.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, this is a long-term thing. Everybody wants instant gratification. They want instant nationhood. They want to take their cream, like they take a cream of wheat, right? Put some milk in a bowl and throw it in the microwave, and they got food. It don't work like that. You have to cultivate this thing. It's cultivation. You got to get people ready. Get ready for this sort of lifestyle if this is what you really, really want. You know, one thing you cannot do is think that your life is, you're going to replace a life in America with an easy life in Africa. It doesn't work like that. Because let me tell you something, right? When you got people in Africa, there's a thing called the American smell, right? Now, what does that mean, Kala, the American smell? When you come from America, right? You smell different, right? It's like a scent. People smell it. Oh, wow, you smell good. American smell. Everything you say and do is new to them, right? And we walk by, everybody wants that breeze, America. But after a while, when you're not producing, right, the American smell wears off. And you become just another local. And the one thing you want to do is see a local is going to be given more leeway because he never had a chance. He didn't come from America, right? If you're back at there and you run out of money and everything like that, right? And then next thing you know, you're just another local, and you're worse than them because they look at you like you came from the richest country in the world, and you're doing bad over here. Now, how does that look? All because you didn't take the time to get your certifications, your licensing, your skill set in America, right? You didn't get your money up. You didn't get all the stuff you're supposed to do, right? Your education, all these things, time playing around, right? And you want to get on that plane and go to the continent. And that lasts for a couple of months. But after a couple of months, right, people are like, why are you here? What are you doing? What are you contributing? And then you start complaining about the country you're in. Oh, they don't do this right. They don't do this right. They don't do this right. I see it all the time. Right? Yeah, well, I ran into some problems here. We ran out of money. Ran out of money. But why'd you go to a country and you had nothing lined up to sustain yourself? What you thought $10,000 going to last you forever, for a lifetime? You know? Oh, yeah, I'm paying $300 a month for rent and everything like that. Yeah, well, money goes really quick over there. You know? So therefore, what I'm saying is this. Part of having a good work ethic, right, is basically knowing how to delay gratification. Okay? What is delayed gratification? That means, okay, some people go on a job, right? I'm going to give this job my all. Because after 3 years, I'll have this much money saved up, right? That's a work ethic. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do this, everything like that. Boom. I'm going to put the sweat equity into this. I'm going to build, right? And then then I'm going to, let's say, I have a job lined up that I want to live overseas with, right? I got savings. I got my place to live. If you really want to know what I'm talking about, right? Watch Europeans when they move to Africa, right? I've seen this a couple of years ago. I seen this white person from like the Netherlands, right? This white girl moved from the Netherlands. She moved to Ghana, right? And she was basically had a backpack and just she goes, oh, I got a little flat. They call it a flat. It cost me not much money a month. I could do the work I do here, and boom, I'm living good and everything. I have a bicycle. I have this, and I'm living good. Because she said, I love this country. I want to be here. Contrast to the black people, right? They think they're going to have Range Rovers. They can have this big land they're trying to buy, You had the sister out there who went from, was driving Uber, but suddenly she thought she could go to Ghana and get beachfront property. This is what I'm talking about. If you didn't have anything in America, you never worked or built anything in America, you never applied yourself to stay yourself in America, why do you think you're going to go to Africa, right? With no connections, no anything, and you're just going to make it big in Africa? This is what we're talking about, This is what we're talking about tonight. So, like I said, work ethic, days off free lunch. Okay, nation building requires hard work. It requires discipline. discipline is a bridge between a thought and an accomplishment. Without discipline, right? Like I said, what we're doing right now, the BAO and Bomani, we're disciplining ourselves, right? To say we have an end goal. We want to build communities. That's going to take a long time, but we're doing our part right now to make sure that happens. And discipline is a major thing. Part of discipline is not over-promising, not exaggerating what we can do, not telling everybody, yeah, if you go over there and get some progress, there's jobs over the place, you get a job here and everything. No. Go on one of the tours, okay? Meet some of the people, see if you like the place and everything. You like the place and everything, and then you come back and say, you know something, I think I could move here. Oh, well, why you? Because I'm retiring next year. I got $200,000 in my 401k. I checked out my medical insurance, right? Because I sell medical insurance that goes overseas, and I can use my insurance, my medical coverage and everything overseas. They got the specialists and everything in the country that I want. I did all my homework and everything. I have one guy in the BAIO, right, that he wants to go into Gambia. I got to give him a call, I haven't talked to him in months. And he said the only reason why he's not settling in Gambia is because of his wife. His wife has health issues. That's something he had to consider. So, but he loves when he goes to the Gambia, he goes like 2 or 3 times a year. He says he wants to live there. But he understands that reality is his wife has medical issues, right? And she has to see her doctor or specialist and everything. So that's another thing we have to look at. If people aren't having these sort of conversations and they're talking about telling you to repatriate, turn them off. Really, turn them off. Because right now there's a lot of people from the diaspora going to Africa and dying because they're getting not proper medical care. They're just doing it they're just living their life. That's what they want to do, die in Africa. As long as they live their last days, and that is fine. But I don't like seeing people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s cashing out like that. Like that. It's a shame that we are in the situation we're in. We should be able to live on the African continent. I understand Africa is a motherland. People want to go there and build this Black society. But the reality is we cannot erase 500 years of complete human degradation. We can't erase the fact that the people that rule over us, right, got their wealth off the blood, sweat, and tears of our people. And that the power dynamic in the world is an end result of the Europeans' conquest. I don't give a damn if they ended slavery. I don't give a damn about any of that stuff like that. The bottom line is they have all the wealth, the industrialization, their world is a Garden of Eden, right? And they left the Black race in shambles. That's why we're at each other's throats all the time. Black people all over the world fighting each other. Because, like they said, in hell there's no love. In hell, the person you knew in life that been your best friend, he's not going to be your friend in hell. Because there's no, when you're in eternal torment, your friend is not your enemy, because every man for himself. And that's what we're going through right now. This is the reason why we don't have any unity in the Pan-African world. Because the Pan-African world has turned into nothing but a living nightmare of hell. When you see people are winning and they have heaven, everything is harmonious. White people, Asian people can work together. They can build in each other's countries. They can build factories in each other's countries. They can do all that stuff like this, Yeah, if you have an online job, you can go anywhere. Yeah, I was talking to Marcus Overton, and he was telling me about this company I used to work for, Southern Global, now does remote. He says he has a friend that works with Southern Global that lives on the continent. That's good. Southern Global pays good money. They pay that's selling insurance, and they basically pay up to $20-$25 an hour. If you got that much money coming in Africa, you're living like a king. But those conversations never happen. I never hear anybody talk about that. What about the jobs that has a list of jobs that are remote, that you can do anywhere? Yeah, Christopher said Africa is a process will gobble you up. There's much pressure. The black race is truly in shambles. African, I have to make no mistake. Right? Yeah. And the bottom line, anybody telling you this nice, rosy picture of the continent, and some people are stupid enough to compare Africa to America, they're being disingenuous. They're sick in their mind. They're dumb and they're sick in their mind and they're liars. And it has nothing. It costs about $1,500. I would say more, because people say $1,500 a month, right?
It depends on your quality of life you're looking for. So
your quality of life,
I agree with more, but the brother is in good range, 1,000 to 1,500, based on the analysis of research I've done. That will get you by, doing okay. But you're not what we talked about earlier today.
Yeah.
Middle class lifestyle.
Yeah, well, who wants to live on $1,500 a month? That's living in a fucking shack, Yeah, that's living in a shack, man. Fucking, you got to grow your own chickens in the backyard. I ain't trying to do that. If you really want to live on a
it seems like you don't want
to chicken tonight.
It seems like you don't want to go back to the farm days.
Yeah. I killed chickens when I was a kid, man. I did that in North Carolina. When I was a kid, we used to wring the wring the chicken's neck. We didn't cut them, right? We used to take the chicken's neck, right, and go, boop, and the neck would come off, right, in your hands, right, and the chicken's running around. That was a horrible thing, man. I remember when I was a kid, man. We used to wring the chicken's neck, and pick the feathers off, whatnot, and we got dinner for the night. I did all that shit, man. Summers in North Carolina, man. It was just like living in Africa, bro. Cutting out trees in wintertime.
Sounds like you're hunting and gathering.
Yeah, dude, man, we had to do that. We had to go out there and fish in the summertime. How we got the food? We had to go down there and bring a whole bucket back of bass and sunfish, and skin them things up, and one night we ate. Black people outside, we used to go to the orchard, right? Pick pears, apples, everything. My grandmother had us out there, 9 years old. Y'all get out there and pick up. We were out there as like slaves, bringing baskets of apples up and that. She have a whole house full of apples. When she's peeling them, she puts them in jars, right, and preservatives, and make applesauce, jellies, some of everything. We get ready for the winter. Because one year we had to live in North Carolina, right, for a year. I don't know why we did this shit. My parents said, y'all always complain about racism and whatnot, so they sent us in North Carolina for the school year. I hated that shit, man. I was like, I'll deal with the white boys, man. This shit is rough, man. Killing chickens and going out there, getting
the real Southern life, man.
Dude, man, burning out trash and whatnot. Hanging our clothes up on a clothesline. Dude, man, that was not fun. Walking 3 miles every Sunday to church and whatnot. God damn, man, that was a rough life. My grandmother, she was like, y'all, she come to New York like, y'all just lazy up here. I said, hey. My cousins was like, we ain't going down there, Grandma Overton. We ain't going down there with that, I said, my father, because my father was the son, right? And he's like, I'll send my kids down there. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Dad. And we go down there. We got to stay with Grandma Overton. As soon as she got done, shot. My Grandma Overton was no joke, man. But they don't make women like her no more. She cooked, clean, old school. She said that the modern world, New York, she said Queens was the worst place for black people. Everybody's lazy. Everybody working around, going to movie theaters. What y'all kids going to movie theaters, going to discos and everything? She said, what? She said, bring them down south. I'll train them. We went through all that, folks. You ain't telling me anything new. You know what I'm saying? If you come from the Eastern United States, right? You come from the islands and everything. You get an idea of what rough life is in Africa. I've been there before. I've been there. Got to walk 5 miles to get a loaf of bread and shit. It was a rough life in North Carolina. Summer in North Carolina. Then go down to my granddad's farm and all stuff like this. Watching pigs being slaughtered and shit.
Wow.
It's a rough life. I've been through it all, folks. I've been through it all. I ain't just somebody just like that. I've been through it. I lived that life.
You missed it, bro. It sounds like you missed it.
Oh no. But sometimes I do tell you, right? I see some of these kids out here, right? And I said, that's exactly what they need. Some of these little spoiled kids out here, I said, that's what they need. That's what they need. They need to be down there and whatnot, take that PlayStation, take all that stuff from them and whatnot, and put them down in the South and whatnot, make them work, and earn their keep and everything like that, discipline them. And they also said everything with older people, it was yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
There you go.
Anybody grown that will come around you, yes ma'am, no ma'am. They talk to you, you say yes, no, and you speak when spoken to, you know, and get out of my face. You know what I'm saying? You're a child, stay in a child's place. That
There you
was
go.
order.
That's what I'm talking about.
We had order back then, you know, and you didn't have people and kids didn't get out of line. You know, they respected the adults, everything like that. That's the old school Black America that I came from, you know. But like I said, building society, you know, are we going to work hard, right? Are we going to discipline ourselves? Our children going to be obedient? You
There
know,
you go.
all these things are important when you talk about building a new society and living among each other. We have to have rules and regulations. You know, we have to have people that we listen to. We have to have people that we that like do. We can't just have everybody doing what they want to do. It just don't work like that. You know.
There you go. Bring it
Yeah,
on. Bring it on.
that it can be too good, but if you guys in a country instead of there, the host is not even homeland. How bad? That's how bad the host is not even homeland. Somebody's taking shots at you.
Oh yeah, brother. Since I've been doing this business, people always taking shots at it. They're like,
So
you talk
what,
all this stuff.
brother
They be like,
Bomani?
oh, you talk all this stuff, and you just like living in this other life and, and things like that. And I tell people, it's what it is. But you know, people are always gonna say things like that. But if I'm not ready to make a move to Africa and I'm working on what I'm working, why should I stop helping other people from making that move? You know, the
Right,
first person I helped move to Africa was in 2007
right.
to
And the
Ghana.
bottom when
He
we go,
literally traveled with me to Ghana, and I connected him with all kind of people that I built relationship over the years.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Just,
So it became a business for us, repatriation and things like that. But once I build my community, I'm good. But beyond that,
right.
you know what I mean? I'm here in the beautiful
Oh,
state of Georgia,
wait till
enterprising.
we get the real funding and stuff like that to build us up. I'll be out of here in a minute. You know.
Yeah, but the
Uh,
thing is, brother, while you're here, you're building your agency. While I'm here, I'm building my
right.
agency of business here. And my
Yeah.
agency of business here handles tourism across Africa, and it handles you know our community development and technical and business operation that are done here in Georgia. So I can't be in both places at the same time, and I'm not gonna give up my business that I have here in Georgia to move anywhere.
Let me
I
ask you.
mean,
Let me ask a question, Bomani. Right
until I'm able to expand properly,
now,
which is doing a new
Donald
headquarters.
Trump. Donald Trump has buildings and real estate all over the world, right? You know, Trump plazas like that. Does Donald Trump have to live in Dubai or wherever his business
No,
is?
no, it doesn't. Not even the guy Marriott. But if you're Bomani Tyehimba, since you talk about Africa, you need to be living in Africa.
I don't understand the logic in that, man. We're
Hey,
working for
that's what Knox Sleazy always come up with.
that. Yeah, you gotta live there. You gotta live there. Yo, bottom line is this. And also, like we always say, bro, you know, we're not telling anybody. Let me say something right now, in case on anybody's mind, right? I respect and I acknowledge the great things Black America is doing, right? The advancement. I see it every day. Black men as contractors making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Black men in trucking. Black men as plumbers. Black men as carpenters. Black men. 65% of African American males, according to the IRS, are in the upper middle class. 65% are in the middle class. You know, that's unprecedented. You know, and so someone tells me that oh you gotta leave America because you're doing so bad. Speak for yourself. And you're not gonna attract the let me say something, folks. The real people that you want that involved in this movement have to have a work ethic, right? And so if you tell somebody, oh, you're not doing well in America, but Bonnie, what would you tell me a minute ago about who's hiring and stuff like that? What would you tell me? You know, you said Amazon's hiring, everybody's hiring, right? Why are you telling me that?
Yeah, this is I mean, people may I'm gonna say one thing and say the next. When you look out there, whether you know you're talking about military or whether you're talking about this you know, general labor, I mean it's out there. I mean even from driving around, brother. I live in a very industrious area, combined with just you know you have your normal normal places of business and everything, and then Atlanta is close by. And then you have this, you know, the Atlanta airport. Even just going there on airport side to the airline sites and things, and even your friends are telling you these things. I mean, it's you're telling people that you live in a society where you have that that economy, and people may say, well, some of the jobs pay little to no money. I mean, it's hey, you making $200 a day is a whole lot more than some people making $100 a month in certain countries.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and you
you,
got
you,
people out
you
there.
have a livable wage. I mean, but there's a lot of positions like that.
People out there supplementing the income with DoorDash and Uber, making an extra $1,500 a week. That's in the United States. Why America has a $24 trillion economy? Let me tell you something, folks. GDP, economies, all that shit matters. I
Yes, it does.
realized that when I moved
Infrastructure matters.
from New York to Virginia, right? Right. My family moved down here from New York, Virginia. My father had a good paying job right there. We came down here. My father, everything. We sold the house and everything. My family, everything. My parents had $150,000. We moved to Virginia, right? Within 2 years, that was gone. They could not find work. None of us could find work here. It was that bad when we first moved to Virginia, right? Because people used to wonder. Back in the early '90s, this place was rough, man. It's better now, but it was rough back then. If you weren't in the military, you weren't shit here. And so I said, man, I thought it was like New York. Everybody got good jobs. I was living in New York.
Nah, not in the South. Yeah, not like that. Yeah,
I did not know that, but you should have told me that.
New York salary is a whole different world. Salary.
You should have told me that, man. I came down here. I came down here, right? And I went to apply for a job. They asked me how much I want for an hour. Man, look at me like, nigga, are you crazy?
Yeah, because they'll look at it like, nah, this is not New York. We're not paying you that amount of money up down here.
They don't even want to give you 40 hours a week. They said we can give you 25 hours. What am I gonna do with $25 at the time $3.35 an hour? What am I gonna do with that? I remember I worked at a place, rallies or whatnot. I walked 5 miles to that job or whatnot, and all of a sudden they had a paycheck for me. I didn't even get my last paycheck, and I was like, man, it was too far. I had to walk all the way to get that shit, And I said, where's the dollar bus, right? Where's the, we in New York we had dollar bus. I said, where's the dollar? They said, you a dollar bus? Look down at your feet. Your feet. Dollar bus. I said, where's the subway?
I mean, good luck on the bus schedules. I remember one time being in Virginia in the Navy. I was out somewhere and I was asking somebody about the bus schedule. They started laughing.
But that's what it is. What you don't understand when you move from someplace from New York to here, this was hell, man. We moved here in Virginia, right? So when somebody told you, "Oh, you can move the continent and do what you do," and I'm like,
are you serious? I'm telling people, yeah, I'm like I literally moved from New York to Virginia, and then from Virginia to Georgia, and the move from New York to Virginia was different. I mean, it's like you don't you're in the military, so you just have what you have and you go. But when you're trying to move your whole life, you got to get a U-Haul, and then you got to be driving on the interstate, and you have to be moving to a whole different place and making a move. Then you got to go set up for your new job, your new apartment, and so on. Now think about it.
You were lucky because you had the military. Imagine not.
I mean, that was the second time I was out of the U.S. Navy. But nevertheless, you're telling people, and that so you have that setup to where you go somewhere, you go to Georgia, and you go, you apply for a job. I mean, you have your credentials, you get your position. Then you have your situation set up, so it's easy to get an apartment, and then you move your life. Now try doing that and moving from the U.S. to Africa. It's it's more detailed, and then it's not it's not like I'm telling you. I left Virginia. You're in the military. Then you go somewhere else. You apply for a position. And more than likely you get it. Because you're young. You have everything looks good on your record, and people want to hire young, vibrant, energetic people that are into their education and things like that. So that's a good opportunity. But it's not the same as moving to the African continent, and that's where you get mixed in. And even that right there, I just explained to you. Like you mentioned, I had certain things. You have you're used to making that move. You're in the military, and you have that background, and you have that setup, and you have also some access of those benefits. So so you're good. You can come here, and then you can you have the VA hospital. You can work your medical work certain things. So that helps you make that move. But then you making a move to Africa now. who are you gonna go do an interview with to get your position and things like that. And yes, you can get an apartment place and things like that, but that's the level of the challenge now, and that's when you need an expert. You need people like ourselves to connect with, and we get it done for you, and things like that. So I tell people all these flow of experience I've done and I've achieved, but it's like, no, I have not physically moved to the African continent. But you try to pack up every few months and you go to this country, that country, and you're setting up for 2 weeks at a country because you're there running business at the same time too. And then when you're staying back and things like that. So it's always interesting to hear people run their mouth, always talking about what you're not doing and things like that. And I'll tell people I have a world of experience. That's why I'm not living in the African continent right now, because I realize, you have to rethink the game and get your best approach, brother, to be successful. And that's what people are not doing. They're not putting their best effort and best energy together and working it with other people to make sure that you accomplish what you're looking to build. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're not making any quick move. This ain't no emotional thing. It's not like we never been to Africa before. Some people like, oh, in order for you to do certain things, you need to go move here and move there. People like yourself who think that is not very intelligent in the first place, because all the rich people and all those more successful people that that do things across the entire world, they can only live on 2 places at the same time, and some of them choose to stay where they're staying to run their enterprise and operation. So
yeah, also the Wall Street banks and whatnot, they finance the Congo, they finance Saigon, Southeast Asia. Did they ever go there? No, but they make money on the thing, And so, like I said, the time's going to come where the power shift is going to be on the African continent, and that has to happen with what? Infrastructure. We have to build Black African infrastructure. What part of that do people understand? And do I have to say it in Greek? Do I have to say it in Roman? Do I have to write it in Braille? Black African infrastructure is the impediment to Black people on any sort of scale moving to the continent. We don't have finance companies. We don't have banks. We don't have logistics. We don't have supply chains. All those things matter. We don't have investment firms. We don't have all these things, right? That we're trying to speak into existence by talking about it. Okay. Now, if we're talking about it right here, there should be people coming behind and say, something, that's a good idea. I have a huge investment firm and everything. Why can't we attract this sort of industries to the African continent, right? Why can't we build, if you work at a Fortune 500 company, you should be able to get that company to open up offices and branches on the African continent. And therefore, also has another business, right? Staffing businesses, labor staffing business. That's a huge business to get into. If you have if you about repatriation, right, you should have somebody who owns a staffing business in your network, right? You know what a staffing business is? And I think I always talk about getting into this, but I do too well insurance, but that's a business anybody wants to get into, right? From what I hear, it's not that hard to get into. I think you got to get some sort of broker's license, whatever, right? What a staffing business is the people, the labor, and you're under a broker, right? If you're just an agency, right? The people come to you and you have a list of jobs and everything. You plug with the jobs and everything like that, and you make money on the front end of everybody you put out there. Let's say a job pays $30 an hour. Your agency will probably make $4 an hour on every hour that you sell, right? Or you procure, and then the broker makes $2 on top of that, right? So your agency, let's say it's $5 per hour for the agency broker, right? You get 3, the broker gets 2, but the broker has many other agencies under him, right? So when you're an agent, that's what you do. So like that, but you find the jobs and everything like that, and you find the people that come to you, and you're plugging people. All you do is plugging people to jobs. That's how the Mexicans are able to get so well, because they got Spanish-speaking staffing and labor supply companies. I have not seen anybody say that I'm gonna get into labor supply, right? Because who knows? You could probably get a contract with said African country to supply them with skilled labor, right? So therefore, you knock out a problem. Somebody can go to the continent. Maybe it might not be permanent. It could be 6-month jobs, And so therefore, because you're not doing this, right? You know who was doing this? The Lebanese, the Chinese. They got a labor supply system, right? And not one Pan-African group has a labor supply system, or a connection with people who basically can supply labor. You know, we should have that, right? That your workforce is part of your army. Okay, your skilled workforce. We should have so many different competing staffing, labor staffing sources, agencies. Not just people think it's just unskilled labor. Then engineers, you can have engineers, right? Let's say a company, let's say Dangote. He spent all billions of dollars. He let the South Koreans, the Turks, and whoever Chinese build that refinery. What if we were organized and said we got an agency, we got a supply of engineers that we can win certain contracts for? Are we even in the mix? You know, this is the sort of thing the Pan-African world has to graduate to if we're going to be taken seriously. You know, this is the other thing. Thank you for the compliment. You know, we have to do this, right? It's not enough, and it takes hard work. It takes people who can bring people together, who have a work ethic and everything. And if you don't have a work ethic, those people that you want to bring to the continent are not going to listen to you. So it takes our people that got hard work ethic, that work hard and everything like that, to start organizing our workforce. And that's how you do nation building. Workforce, when people can earn high wages and everything, and they can go from because it's already happening all over the world. We're the only group of people that haven't gotten into this. Well, the Chinese and everybody, are you organized? Are you got your workforce organized? Are you basically organizing people saying, you know, like that, the BAIO, we have different groups. We have the skilled labor group. I want people to join the BAIO social network and join the skilled trade group, right? Called the Doogers, after the Fraggle Rock group, you know. When we're organized like that and we're talking about skilled labor and everything like that, then we become our own groups and everything like that. We can start fighting and bidding for contracts on the African continent. And that's how we make the move in strength. But just going over there, just sitting under the sun, sipping Mai Tais is not going to work anymore. You know? Yeah, we do need insurance companies on the guy. Africa has insurance companies, but the thing is, insurance is not really mandated on the continent. That's what needs to happen, right? You got people who drive with no insurance on their cars. That's dangerous, you know. But and also I don't know how homeowners insurance work in Africa, right? I guess if your house burns down, you're dead ass. If your house burns down in America, you got insurance, and you can build another one, right?
Yeah, you got to get that homeowner insurance, man. I'm telling people, don't play games, man.
Yeah, you got to get homeowner
whether
insurance.
you're renting or you're owning or whatever you're doing, man. I'm not here to tell people. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not here to sell people insurance, man. But I'm telling people.
But things people don't think about.
Things when it comes to your automobile and your home, you got to get those things insured. I don't understand people don't have insurance. You should have insurance for everything.
You have
no one is paying me to say this, but I'm telling you, don't play around with your home, especially if you live in an apartment complex, because people are stupid and crazy. I remember, first time moving to an apartment and you just around, you come here, you're young and you're professional, and other people are young and they're not professional, and they live by you. Next thing you know, your house, your apartment burned down or something like that. You're just out of luck. But yeah, you have to make sure you read the fine print of your, especially your lease, and make sure you're clear about what's insured. Like, I work for a lady that had a few different properties, and she would tell she would tell me to explain to all our customers that our house is insured. But whatever you bringing in our house is not insured.
And so people don't think about
owner's insurance.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, guys,
business insurance, right? Business insurance, right? We have to get to the point where, like I said, once we get to the point where we're using upgrading additional industrial facilities and commercial parks and stuff like that, we have to maintain a standard, right? Our businesses have to be insured, right? Our businesses have to also like this. Why? Because another thing is this: we have to get to the point where if we have factories and everything, you have what we call key business insurance, right? Let me explain to you what that is, right? People don't understand. You ever notice when you go to a job, right, and the place is absolutely slow, but yet they got people still standing around? How are they able to afford this? Because the business, right, can tap into its key employee insurance and everything, and keep a certain amount of employees on payroll and lay the rest off, right? And while it's basically, let's say it's going through a strike, it's going through restructuring and everything, and you work in that factory, like, well, we're not doing anything. The trucks are out there, nothing's coming in, nothing's coming out. How are they able to do it? Because that business got business insurance. That business insurance will cover everything, payroll, lights, everything, right? Salaries, everything, until it gets back to usually up to like a year or two, right? So that's why a company, right, could be afford to fire people, whatever like that, because it's like, okay, they got insurance on that, right? Now I got insurance will cover me, right, to train somebody else, right? I'll get that insurance to train somebody else, right, to fill that position, right? Businesses, you wonder why? As a white man is not invincible. People think they go buy a job. That white man fired me. I hope he goes out of business. You know, I'm praying they go. I'm throwing roots down. That business shut down. 10 years later, that business still up and running. You sitting there like, oh man. You know, how do white men do it? They do it because he runs a proper business. And you want to run a business, you know? You want to be an entrepreneur, and he's actually doing business. So when you talk about if you can't show me that you're doing this in America the right way, right? How the hell are you going to do this on the African continent when the infrastructure is not there? You know, stop playing games with me, folks. You know, we need people that's intelligent. And like I was telling somebody, I forgot who I was telling. I said, yeah, look, you know, the majority of people who go to the continent, black people that succeed don't call themselves Pan-Africanists. They're on the continent and they got their skills and everything like that, you know. And a lot of them in the BAO, you know. I know a lot of brothers in the BAO who go to the continent and do business and they get into high tech stuff. They're not real fire, black power, Pan-African. I know that, you know. Well, I know that. I know the fact that they're not really fire, breathing, Pan-African. They'll sit there and have a conversation with us, right? But these people are trying to win. They're trying to build stuff. Like Mr. Rosenthal, right? He's not fire and breathing Pan-Africanist, right? But this man has built with his skills and his credentials from Jackson State. This man's been all over the world. You know, he went with the highest levels of government in the world and banking and everything. He opened the first black bank in Jackson, Mississippi in the 80s, okay? Gave black people real mortgages for the first time. He opened it first. He basically helped rebuild parts of Louisiana, Mississippi after Hurricane Katrina, okay? That's a man who knows what he's doing, right? He gets stuff done. That's why he's a partner of mine. And, you know, and I hope to be his heir apparent, you know? And he basically has the African Gold Bullion Bank in South Africa, Angola, the Congo, and now Uganda, okay? And so the bottom line is this. You don't have to be a red, black, and green Pan-Africanist. I want to see some people with some friggin' thing. What's up, Sid Police Academy? What's up? Thanks for joining us tonight, brother. I want to see some people that got some skills, some education, and some ideas, you know? Because I've had enough of people telling me how blinkety black, the blinkety black, the blinkety black, the power, the blinkety black. And nothing, goddamn thing ever gets done, you know? This is time for real nation building, real skills, real education, and real people coming together and building something, right? Both here and on the African continent. America is, like I said, is the breadbasket. This is where the money source is. Make no mistake about it, okay? You know, if you cannot make money in America, you're not going to make money in Africa. Now, if you want to make money in America and transfer to Africa, have a real plan, you know, and always have a money source, you know, where if you're ever depleted, you know, you could tap back into. So that's the future of the black race and everything like that. We have to have a good work ethic, you know, we have to work hard, and we have to basically show people that this movement here is not some fly by night. We're doing this thing for the future of our race. There's an old saying: a man who plants a tree, not knowing that he's not going to benefit from the shade, is a person who the path to wisdom and enlightenment. So in other words, he plants that tree in the backyard, but he's never going to benefit from it. But he knows that tree is going to be there, and somebody's going to benefit from it. That's what this movement's about. We're planting trees, we're planting seeds, and we're cultivating this movement, right? we're going to benefit from the process of doing this, right? But the people, our kids, and everybody coming behind us are going to be ones that benefit from this.
You go to future generations, family. We have to think about the future generations.
That's what we're going to leave behind to the next generation. It's not about us anymore, because if we don't do this right, then our life in this world was for naught. That's what drives me. That's what drives the Kala Genesis. The fact that I know that this is what should have been done a long time ago. We should have been building Africa. We should be focused on building the African continent, right? And knock down any barrier in front of us, right? To make sure that our children have options like everybody else. I told you a few minutes ago, right? The Chinese and everybody else, they were planning their moving to Africa for decades. Okay? But the difference in them is they got money and logistics and everything behind them. There's nobody in China telling them, don't go to Africa, stay in China, focus on what's going on in China. No, they're freaking saying, if you're going to go there and expand, go right ahead. We're the only group of people that have people sitting around telling us, oh, don't go to Africa, don't build in Africa and everything like that, And all we're saying is, let's build in Africa, but let's do it right. You may not be able to go to the continent, right? You may not be able to live there, but you can make it show that the next person behind you can have a path, an easier path. You don't have to go there. You can go there and visit. You go there like that. But you basically, like this, we have the only group of people who don't think about our continuity. But the people that don't think about, I'll say, oh, fuck them niggas. After I'm gone, I don't care what happens in this world. That's a nigga. But the white man, you see the white man, right? He's constantly planning, I'm going to leave this to my kids. I got this trust fund set up, I got this college plan set up, So they come into the world already set up and prepared. Now, some of us can't do all that right now, but this is something we can do. What we're building on the African continent, what we're building in America and everything like that is something we're going to leave to the next generation. Why? Because when you love yourself, right, you want to see what you are replicated. You want to see your posterity. Okay. If you don't have that, then what you're gonna have is, you are what they say you are. You're just a nigga. A nigga has no past. He doesn't know his heritage. He has no present. He's a fool, and he doesn't have a future. And he has no continuity. All my life, I've been fighting against that thing because I think we're more than that. I grew up around strong black men. I see the black men that shaped me and raised me and everything like that. To me, were the best men that ever lived. So I'm not going to dishonor all of my forefathers and everybody came before me by saying what we cannot do. So I basically get what people in America that's doing stuff, and the majority of black men in America, 65% are in the middle class. Every day, there's black men becoming millionaires and doing all stuff like this. But here's the thing. Less than like 5% of them are interested in Africa. The black people who basically I see that could build roads, that could build bridges, that could build all this stuff, I see every day. The black people that build homes. They're making really good money here in America. They're doing really well here in the eastern United States. How do you convince them about Africa? One thing, you don't insult the intelligence by telling them, oh, you're doing so bad in America, let's go to Africa. No. But if you tell them, look, there's contracts coming up and everything. There's contracts coming up. Yeah, we're putting a bid in a contract. Would you be interested? We got a $2 million plumbing contract. Oh, guess what? And I know my brothers, right? When you put the money and figure in front of them, whoa. Why? Because they know there's white guys, right, who are constantly overseas doing really big work. They come home like 5 months out of the year when they're always in the road. They're in Japan, they're in China, they're doing stuff like this. We're living in a global world. you know, and they're working on this building over here. They're working in Dubai. They're working over here. You know, I remember I was driving cab one day. This was back in 2000. What year was this? 2009, where I was driving cab, right? Before this is like way before Uber came out. So I was driving cab, right? Just a part time, some extra money. And I picked this white guy up, man. I'll never forget this. It was the wintertime, so it was real cold. He gets in the car with just a little tiny jacket on. I said, "Is it cold?" And he goes, and I knew it was an airport run. I love those airport runs. We made money when you drive cab or do Uber. Airport runs are the best ones. You know, people call airport. Okay, woo. That's always it. And they always give you a big tip at the end. You know, airport. So it was an older white guy. It was like maybe like in his 60s, whatever, like that. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to Japan." I was there. I'm like, just with a backpack and everything. Yeah, I'm going to Japan. I had one little tiny suitcase and a backpack. Yeah, I'm going to Japan, right? I go, sir, what are you going to Japan for? He goes, oh, I something went down in one of our computer systems and I got to go and fix them up. And I'm saying to myself, this guy living in a suburb in Virginia Beach, right? Got to get on a plane and fly to Japan. I said, so where you flying? He said, I'm flying from Norfolk International to O'Hare, right? And I said, O'Hare to Hawaii? No, he said, no. We crossed over the Arctic. He says, over the Arctic, right? And we cross over the Arctic, right? You come into the north side of Japan. He said, I go there all the time. You know, I'm just getting on a plane. I'll be there. You know, it's like 14 hours, whatever, like that, you know, from O'Hare. You know, and I'll be in Japan. Now I just got to get down to our business operations over there. And I'm saying to myself, I just couldn't fathom, right? Somebody being able to get on a plane and go across the world and just fly out in the middle of the night across the world to check on a business, a computer business, something he had, right? Tech business he had, contract he had, all the way in Japan. And it dawned on me, see, these white guys are way ahead of us. You know, they basically his business in Japan. He lives in the United States, right? He don't have to be in Japan, right? But he just goes over there anytime and whatnot, make sure everything's. I got something that went down. I got make it up. Here's a multi-million-dollar contract, you know. And I'm saying to myself, man, that got to be us, man. We got to be able to be like, yo, I'm going over to. I want to see this. Yeah, I'm going to South Africa. You know, hey, sir, where you going? Yeah, I'm going, bro. I'm going to South Africa. Yo, hey, I got a business over there. I got to check on this and whatnot. You know, saying I must be there for a week and I'm coming back. You know, where am I going to see that conversation among black men? You know, that we got businesses and industries around the world that we get on a plane and do. I haven't seen that yet. Now, if we start doing those sort of businesses and everything like that, right? The people who work hard, they'll be interested in the Pan-African movement. They'll be interested in African building. But since we don't have that leadership and the people is interested in that, we do have it, right? But let me tell you something, right? The people in the Pan-African movement don't get behind those type of we don't put them in the front of the forefront. I think Mr. Rosenthal should be in the front of the Pan-African world, but we don't do that. Said we listen to friggin' goofballs and idiots all the time online talking a bunch of nonsense that gets us nowhere. Let's see. Christopher says, Kala, that's true, but how can you convince the blacks with skills to go? Good tell we're not no skills. Yeah, that's true. You know, we do need. That's the challenge right there. That is a challenge right there. How do we convince those black? And it has to, and it can't be all us. The African governments, the African business group. Where's the African private sector? Why is everything in Africa always a government? Where's the African tech community? Where's the African business community? Where's the African finance community? You know, Mr. Rosenthal said Kenya is doing actually pretty good. You know, because they have good infrastructure. They didn't suffer a war like Uganda did, you know, so they're much ahead of the countries. He said Kenya is actually ahead of Tanzania and all these other countries as far as the brain power. Brain power is the most important thing. Let me tell you something, folks, right? The key right now in the world is brain power. Most of the black intelligent brain power live outside of Africa in the West. Africa loses skilled labor every day. As soon as somebody gets a degree or a doctorate degree, they're off to UK, they're off to France, they're off to Germany, they're off to Canada, they're off to the US. Yeah, and too many of our African brothers and sisters believe in this globalism stuff. They say, well, I can make more money than us. Where do we get to the point where a person can make a good salary on the African continent as he can make in the West? And we claim Africa is the richest continent in the world. Why is it that people got to go out of Africa to make a friggin' wage? Where is that? Why isn't nobody answering that question? Why is all the doctors and everybody else trying to get visas to go out of here? And the West will give you visas, right? Because if it shrinks wages. That's a drawback of globalism. The West wants your best and brightest. They want all your technical people. They don't care about your country not developing. They don't care about that. So they bring you to their countries, work for them. Okay, OB says everyone is motivated by incentives, regardless of race. Regardless of race, the issue is that we need to do business. We need to do business to make the case that there's real economic. That's the only convincing. Yeah, I know. I agree with that. But what I'm hearing is everybody keeps saying how Africa is the future. Africa is my passion. Africa is rich. Africa is this. And why the hell is everybody, right? As soon as they got some education, they're leaving the continent. I don't get it. Kala, do you perceive many African Americans are afraid to fly? I don't think so. I was afraid to fly until I got on a plane. I was like, okay. I went on a plane a few times. Hey, look, black people aren't afraid to fly. It used to be like that, but it's not like that. It's not like in the back in the days. Black people flying all the time. You got the passport bros now. This younger generation of black
passport bros, get it on.
These guys,
everybody mad at the passport bros.
They're coming. They get one dude that's passport. Let me get off the topic, but they're basically that one. He made a comment in Brazil. Now he's saying the Brazilian women are coming after. I forgot this guy's name, but all these people are coming after him and everything. The problem is, let me tell you something, you fools, right? If you're gonna do anything, stay your ass off YouTube. You don't have to be on YouTube with everything you do. Instead of us building, right? Like I'm saying, everybody's a fucking YouTube celebrity. And this guy, it cost him. He left Brazil. And the bottom line is, and a lot of bros still down there when now the people that hate the passport bros are on this smear campaign saying passport bros are predators and all this kind of nonsense and everything. It's foolishness. Some brothers going down there because they've been going down to Brazil for a while now, because of these stupid fools on YouTube, right? Get up there and asking these Brazilian women questions, everything, and don't even realize nobody wants to be on camera. Nobody wants to put all their business out in the street, asking all these intimate questions to these women out there. They're feeling exploited. Same thing with some people, some of our brothers who go around the continent, right, and interviewing everybody when they don't want to be interviewed. Hey, this dude right here, man, I met him the other day. He fixed bicycles, man, and this is Africa and whatnot. How do you know that dude wants to be interviewed with you? How do you know the guy wants to be exploited? As soon or later, this backlash against this YouTube culture is going to happen to black people in America. I'll tell you right now, I'm not part of it. I'm not part of this YouTube stupid nonsense and everything, exploiting people and everything. If you go to Africa, do your business, right? Do what you got to do. If you're there for romance, that's fine, right? You can put up on YouTube, but not every 2 seconds you got to friggin' be interviewing and putting people's names and addresses on the for the world to see. Because you become part of the exploitation. Exploitation. And so that's what it is. Let's see. Chesapeake Engineering is the largest black-owned electrical engine in North America, owned by a Nigerian. I don't know about that. I've never met any Nigerian because, like I said, we have a lot of black electrical engineers, and he may have owned the firm, but I guarantee most of his workers are black, African American. Should Africans join forces with continental living in the United States? Look, I've been saying that for a long time, but here's the problem, right? I deal with Liberians in America, right? Most of them have no intentions of going. And right, look, let me say something, right? And I always get on my Liberian brothers, right? Some of them haven't been back in 30 years, right? And they're like, "Oh, I love what you do in college." I'd be like, "Yo, you should be doing this shit," you know. You know, and to be honest with you, right? You know, it's different for me because I'm not held down by the political stuff in the country. And a lot of times, a lot of people have went through a lot of trauma in the continent, right? And they can't go back like that. They're trauma. Some of people that got killed in the war and stuff. And let's be honest with ourselves, a lot of them feel if they go back to Africa, they might not get back to the United States. They might get to things that you can't. I'm sorry, you can't come back here. You got a warrant out, or you got unpaid debt, whatever like that. And a lot of people from Africa right now, and I didn't know this, right? And I had to be sensitive like this, right? Because I lost a lot of friends, right? I lost a lot of my friends because I didn't know this. There's a lot of our African brothers here who are living here illegally, and they were basically hating Trump. They were like, "Oh man," I said, "Why do you care?" And I realized a lot of our brothers and sisters here without papers, they overstayed their visas, they ain't trying to go back. It's survival. I understand that. I'm not going to mock them for that. They're living in America and they're grateful for the fact that Black America made this a place where Black people can live comfortably. And I'm not going to ever shit on that. You want to live in America and everything like that, you're Black, to me, you're welcome. At the same time, right, there's Africans that want to go back to the continent, right? And we should partner with those people. We don't do enough of partnering with those people. And it's with us, we look at Africa, we see opportunity, right? A lot of them are supporting people back home, and I've heard a lot of horror stories. People sending money to the continent, right? And they're supposed to build a house and the money gets eaten up and everything, or they go there, the people, and there's a lot of pressure. If you're living in America, right? The people back home in Africa are thinking you're rich. They want this much money, they want this much money, they want this much money. And when you don't send that money back, right, and they label you as a failure in America. And they don't understand that we got bills and money just don't grow on trees over here, So a lot of them are dealing with that. They deal with their families back home. So when you say partner with them, right, they're already bogged down with their people back home who were remittances they got to send money to and everything like that, we never got that break as a race. Everybody's struggling. Yeah, Chris says most Africans in America have little desire to return for good reason. They have lived, and they know, life is real in Africa. It's real. And most of them that live in the United States, well, so when I hear people trying to tell Black people, you should go to Africa, when you got a couple of million Africans who have no intention of going back to the continent. There's African Americans have a desire to go to the continent, right? If we do it right, we can make it happen. And those Africans could come along with it. I hope that's going to be the case in Liberia, because I'm working with Liberians and African Americans to build communities in Liberia. We're going to work together. We know if we come together, we'll be stronger, we're more successful. But and that's the way it should be. But at the same time, I understand if there's people saying I just can't go back to the continent, for whatever reason, everything like that. I'm in America and everything. But there's a lot of people that go back and everything, but they already got their plans of what they're gonna do and everything. They already got their land on the ground, and they got the people they deal with and everything like that. But we can definitely work together. African West, special ones in America, are the most detribalized Blacks on the planet. Yeah, and that's another thing. I have a bunch of Congolese brothers, right? They found out that my ancestors are from the Congo, right? And said, Carlos, our new leader and whatnot, right? Nah, I'm flattered, right? Okay, I'm from the Angola, the Congo, right? That's where most of my bloodline comes from, right? But they want to talk about, we got to launch this war against the Tutsis. But I have no interest in your tribalism as far as the Tutsis and everything like that. I don't care about that, I don't care about that. That doesn't mean me. Black African Americans we're detribalized. 400 years, right? Created a new culture, a Pan-African Black conscious culture. You know, that's what Black America is a Black identity, Black consciousness. You cannot erase that. I cannot become a Yoruba tomorrow. I cannot become an Igbo, right? You know, and no disrespect to these people's culture and everything like that. I'm a Black American. I'm African American. That's who I am. And what does African American mean? I am race conscious, right? I see the world through the prism of race. I cannot basically change and say, you know something, you know, I'm gonna become a Yoruba, and once I become a Yoruba, it's okay for me to marry a white woman, you know, because that's not our culture. No, I cannot do that. I understand why my ancestors, right, the way our ancestors feel about race and color, and I'm sorry that that's the way it's going to be forever. Slavery, there's no forgiveness for slavery. There's no coming back from that. You know, the white Anglo-Saxon race, right, cursed us and enslaved us. I don't hear about no Jews, whatever like that. The white Anglo-Saxon, the white man, cursed our race, took everything he had from us, bled us for 400 years to make himself rich and powerful. And the same white Anglo-Saxon race goes around the world and make other people hate us. The same white Anglo-Saxons and whatnot have put out negative images of Black America to our brothers and sisters in Africa. The same white Anglo-Saxon and whatnot makes it show that the world turned its back on us. There's no forgiveness. There's no forgiveness. We're not friends. We're not. We're mortal enemies. Let me tell you something about the soul of Black America, right? Black America have a soul. You know something? We're a just people. And when we talk about just people, right? I'm very proud. So, how you like Martin Luther King? Because that's a side of us I'm proud of. Out of everything, this man can still love. After all that's thrown at him, he can still find his heart to love. You know? But here's one thing. When we talk about the soul of America, the soul of Black America, a soul needs a body. Right now, everybody basically, the whole world wants to control Black America. There's something about Black America that everybody feeds off of, whether it's the continental African, the European, the Japanese, everybody. What is it about these people? What is it about these people? We're always the most judged group of people on the planet because we don't have a nation of our own. We don't have a land of our own. We don't have a body. We don't have a place where we can manifest and put the best of us into one place. A soul and a spirit needs a body. We have the soul, we have a spirit, but we don't have a land, the body, the corpus, you know, the Zion. We don't have that. So we're in captivity. We're in captivity in America. And so as long as we're in captivity in America, right, let's just make the best of it. Let's do what we have to do. We don't apologize, right? They always want to be like, yeah, but like this is why it's hard for me to get close to any white person, right? As soon as you get among white people, you think you're cool and everything. Let me say something, right? When you're sitting down with Jews, right? A person will never come up to a Jew and say, oh man, the Holocaust is no big deal. Hitler wasn't all that bad. They'll never say that, right? They'll never go up to the Native American and say, oh, you know, so what's your massacre, whatever. But Black people, African Americans are the only people, but nobody respects our pain. You know, I don't give a damn how big the Black middle class is. I don't give a damn how much we generate and all stuff like this right here. We still have a right to say that we are still aggrieved for what happened to our ancestors. People want us to forget who we are. And it bothers me because a lot of our African brothers want us to do the same thing. Oh, you guys worry about race and color. That's who we are. We never got vengeance for slavery. Our slave masters got reparations for losing us during slavery. These dirty people made themselves super rich off the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors and brutalized us. And then in the 20th century, they waged a race war against us, burned hundreds of Black cities and towns in America. Cole, you sound angry. Yes. You know, the spirit of my ancestors haunt me every day. And that's why we're doing this. That's why I'm doing this, because one day we're going to have a land, a nation, a flag of our own. And what we're doing is just a step to that. Building in Africa, building everything that's just a step, because nobody else is going to do it. So Bomani and I, this is what we're doing. We understand this has to be done. This must be done. This will be done.
Absolutely, brother. And let me post this question for you right here. Bam. Not that one. This thing moves so fast and get out the way. There we go.
Watching Afro Dumbass, he said, why do Afro Dumbass and Mike Omowale as voice of our shows don't believe the African American efforts to right fair trade span? Because they're ignorant. These guys are coming from the trashes of this is another thing. The Kwame Nkrumahs and everybody else didn't have to deal with. They didn't have to deal with Negropeans and these people who just live in America, right? They live off the fat of the land. They're going around chasing white girls. And they basically, because they got social media, they're able to cause trouble for us. They want to make a market. The civil rights, without the civil rights movement and the efforts of black people, and not just the labor, even the labor movement. Do you know it was black people, right, who made sure that the minimum wage, everything you see in America, healthcare, fair housing, all that stuff was part of the black struggle in America that everybody benefits from. But these people are taught by fake Pan-Africanists, right, that they could talk and make a mockery of black history and our struggle in America because most of the fake Pan-Africanists have no respect for their own people. If you don't respect your own people, I don't buy you putting on somebody else's robe and garb and telling me you're somebody else. I am African American. This is who I am. This is what my people are. When all people are down there in the churches getting bombed one night and saying we shall overcome, I'm down there with them. The soul of Black America is with me. When Black America said they wanted to be American one night, I honored that. And I still respect that. But all I can do is say, look at what we're doing. And when we start showing success on the African continent, our people will come and support us. But you have to respect, just like me. I don't like the fact that black people vote Democrat, right? But I'm going to respect that decision. That's called respect. And people are taught that they don't have to respect Black America. They don't have to respect our ancestors. They don't have to respect the struggle. So they come here in America, suck off the benefits of America, ride around, everything like that, right? Get a little couple of jobs, everything, and get on social media talking shit about us. While they can't do anything in their own countries. And this is what we're dealing with. As a result, you have these groups like ADOS FBA popping up as a backlash to this disrespect. But I tell you all the time, as much as I'm a nationalist, as much as I'm a Pan-African, right, I'm African American first. That's who my ancestors are, and that's who we came with. I'm a first generation Muslim family and community. Don't wish to go back and have family rip them off. Yo, I know the story, dude. I get horror stories from Africans, right? They get mad at me and say, "Man, I ain't doing nothing because these people out there, my family, they eat you alive with it, but then your family still love them. Yeah, but man, they don't understand. We're over here struggling, paying bills and everything like that. They think we just got all this money and everything like that. You know, it's rough. You know, it's rough. It was really rough. And maybe if they did pass on reparations, maybe African Americans should get some of that if they want to resell in Africa. I think America is responsible for a lot of shit that goes on in Africa anyway. You know, and let me tell you about reparations, which I think is stupid. I don't believe it, right? But I have no problem if African immigrants or anybody get reparations. I have no problem. You want to create a whole movement around, we want to make sure African immigrants make them get reparations. Get the fuck out of here, you know? You know? I want every black person in the world to get some of that shit, you know? Get it, man. Get it. Yo, you Liberian, man? You suffered? Yeah, I did. Okay, hey.
We are all victims of this wicked system.
Yo, look, you let me pass on the reparations check. Yo, my Ghanaian brothers, give me out the reparations check. Cutting checks out, here, brother, go ahead, But that's what it is. That's how I believe, You don't ask me to pass out a reparations check, because if you're black, hey, you gotta check me. I don't give a damn where you came from, But let's see. That's why Adolf's argument that you should stay in horror is horrible. Because you should be you would be a historian, know that black people South, for the same reason or no reason, want terror. I don't understand what Chris. I hope Chris will call in and understand. I understand the question. And the black people ran. Black people ran from the South in terror. It wasn't really opportunity, right? I had a great uncle of mine that was killed by the Klan in Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida. He was from Savannah, Macon County, Georgia, but he was in Florida, right? And my mother said she was just a little girl, and the Klan had burned them to the tree. And I think I'm gonna go research that. The Klan had burned them to the tree. The same thing with Emmett Till, like a year before Emmett Till. And some white girl, my uncle, great uncle, was really good looking, right? And some white girl liked him, whatever, like that. And the father, whatever, like that, came by, and the uncles gave it.
Yeah, that stuff is no joke.
Yeah, but this is the terror we freaking dealt with, right? I had family members killed by the Klan in the South. And my grandmother, when you talk to her, she's the most beautiful Christian woman you ever met. She already prayed for them. I already prayed for them. I'm calling them white devil. So no, you don't talk like that. And I honor my family. My family's Christian. That we don't talk like that. We didn't raise you like that to hate. And so I honor that. But that's who we are as a people. And the bottom line is this, right? It seems that since we were these people that forgave, like this idea that black people hate Africans because of slavery. Black people don't hate Africans because of slavery. We're the most forgiving people on the planet. So I hate when people misrepresent us like, oh, you called me. That's lies. I've never heard anybody call anybody a booty scratcher. I've never heard anybody in my life, right, say anything but praise about Africa. When Africa comes on television, everything, it was all knees bow, all tongue confess, man. When Nelson Mandela came to this country one night, the whole country shut down. Black America was like, man, I'm in Africa. There's something spiritual that we love this continent so much, even though the continent's never really did anything for us, right? When Kwame Nkrumah came to America, right? He preached in black churches and whatnot. We always welcome our African brothers and sisters in with us, because we're all one and the same, So we're not gonna let the friggin' dumb trolls like Afro Dumbass and all these other people ruin that. That's who we are. Okay? Now we'll deal with them on a different thing, but the bond that we know is right, was right and correct, that we love our ancestry, we love our African heritage and everything, and we want to build bridges and everything to our ancestral homeland, that's never going to be broken. Because that's who we are. We're not these people that walk around hating people and stuff like that. We've never been a people that hate, Chris says, what I mean, Kala, being truly terrorized, so they got to the north as soon as they could. Some Africans survived the Civil War in life. They don't want to go back. Yeah, you're right about that. The bottom line is this. There was a lot of black people, right? And back in the days, right, I was asking my father, why'd you come north, right? He came in the 60s, right? But, there was a lot of people, right, that basically said, came from the north or not, and they had stories. And they basically said that, they'll tell stories about the Klan. They'll tell stories about how you were living on edge. It was like this. If you're walking around the South, and you're a black man with any pride, right? A white man, a goofy looking white guy, right? That nobody respects his own community, can come into the black community and call a black man who's established everything a boy. Now you can do two things, right? You can ignore it, or if you do something about it, right? You knew what was going to happen, right? You knew what was going to happen, right? As soon as he goes back to his white people and say the Klan, they got Klan, right? My uncle, my grandfather told me right there in Windsor, North Carolina. He said, yeah, back in they remember back in the 40s, right? The 40s. My grandfather came to, and it's one reason my grandfather went to Harlem. He said they watched a black man be dragged Right, he said right in front of his house, dragged right there in front of everybody, dragged on the back of a car, in the 1940s, dragged and killed because he got into a fight with a white man. So we went to New York, right? My family didn't tell us to hate. They said that's the way it is. So what we did was we built our own little Africa in South Jamaica, Queens, and Harlem, and Mount Vernon, and all these places, right? These are African sanctuaries, Black African sanctuaries, and we built these communities for generations. So I'm getting sick and tired of people judging us what Black America ain't doing. That's getting old. And this 2023, I'm gonna lead that fight. I'm going to defend Black America for once.
There you go, man. That's what's up, man. Let me introduce our next person that joined us, the Jamaican Jankra channel. Greetings, brethren. Welcome to the call.
Yes, brother Bomani and brother Kala.
What's going on, bro?
All right, everything good.
What's on your mind tonight?
What brother Kala say, right there. I remember when I was coming to America, 1980. Came here when I was 16, and we went to the Jamaican embassy, and it was a black immigration officer that interviewed us to come, right? And you know what that Negro told us?
I can imagine.
He said, he told us it specifically out of his mouth. He said, look, you see them black people in America? He said, don't mix up with them. Okay? That's what he said. That was where the white man, that's what I mean, that Negro told us. So him lazy. Don't you see, he wasn't a white man, because if he was a white man, he would have sent off alarm bell in your head right away. He's a Negro. He sent a Negro. Say, hey, them Negro. But that was just us. See? Because you come and you work, right? They work, and,
Hey, brother, you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up. Brother Janko, I think you're breaking up, brother.
All right, it's unfortunate.
and they work the hell out of.
Yes, your internet is not. Your network is not stable.
They mash it up.
Yeah, brother. Your network is not stable. You're going in and out. So, but once he gets the network straight, we'll continue with him. But Kyle, I'm trying to remember the last thing that we were saying. Yo, what's up with this person and this logo right here with this white devil right here? What's up with that? It's somebody trying to be this like
that's a friggin' ADOS goofball. ADOS goofball. They think that whole movement's dying. There's no ADOS, right? There's only African Americans and our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and everything in Africa live here. There's no ADOS. ADOS is a friggin' stupid ass.
Jamaicans love white women. That's why their women bleach. I'm telling you, man.
Now, brother Amara.
That is just funny, man. These people.
This guy, this clown right here is good for laughs, man. He posts a bunch of stupid stuff. He got Honey Boo Boo. He got Honey Boo Boo as his fucking moniker,
Honey Boo Boo. I mean, I want to know who this person is, man. This is like a real funny comment, man.
And then you got Amara Netter says, I guess nothing wrong with saying Yoruba versus African second. Yo, look, if I have no problem with somebody saying they're Yoruba or whatever the hell you want to do, I have like that. Like I said, I'm not gonna research every last single tribe I came from in Africa. I do know the soul and the spirit, right? And who I am, the mind, soul, and spirit of who I am is African American, right? Right? Why? because like Rosenthal, I told Rosenthal last week, I said I appreciate him because when he goes to the Congo, right? I said, you're a black man from America, Vicksburg, Mississippi, right? And you are African man just like they are, right? But they look at him in awe that a black man, a real black man like we are, right, can go there and put together such a thing and have the command, right? They have never seen anything like this. This is what we're talking about as far as the African American, how we are, you know? And he basically goes over there and he's humble and everything like that, and basically sits down with the brothers and say, yo, we're part of it. That's who we are as a race. We're not gonna sit here and be like, yo, I can't get into the tribal and everything like that, you know? As a black man, right? As a black man in the first world, the black man right now, we have a duty to unite the African black race, you know? And we unite that by basically not talking about these borders and everything like that. Now, like I said before, you could be proud of being Yoruba, you could be Igbo and everything, but when you put your Igbo and your Yoruba chest out in front of me, I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you in it. You know, because we are living in two dangerous times. Because what happens is white people come in, right, and they see the divisions among you, right, and they pick sides, and you have you fighting against each other. You know, and that's what happens. So when other black men are around, you better get on code, or get your chest lumped, get your chest caved in. You know, because I'm seeing too much of that. Of this Afro dumbass fool and whatnot. You know, I got white friends and all like that. You know, this, that, the other thing.
Yeah, who died and gave him like some leadership role or something like. But nevertheless, man, these clowns, man. You know, we smoked enough of them for 2022. I guess we're gonna have to just finish cleaning house for 2023. But yeah, my brother, the Jamaican Janko channel, brother. Can you hear us? Are you on?
Me, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I can hear you, Brenton. What do you think about this comment right here?
Just ignore that. Ignore that, because you know that has some. Me see couple of troll inside there. Troll, you know. Yeah, you have to treat the troll like shit, you know. You make the shit stay in the corner until everybody smell it, and I'm like, you know. So me not give shit acknowledgement. No, Kala say something there important. You see, the black man in America, because of the treatment and the consistent brutality.
One mic.
Because of the consistent brutality dispensed upon him, he developed a racial consciousness because of his environment. You understand? So what happened now in a Jamaica or other parts of the world, you see the white man, him come bearing gifts. You see him come, oh, I'm come to aid. I come to help you. I say that not knowing say him in the background and manipulate everybody. You see, him and the puppet, him have him puppet them out there, and him and the puppeteer in the background. So the black man coming from Africa, coming from, you know, it's hard for you to tell him, say, hey, the white man, they are the enemy, you know. So we are chat about white man are the enemy. The white man, you see, the white man I bring with food, they might bring with medicine, they might bring with this. So it's hard for you, for really, it's when we come to America, we come realize, we should come find out, you see, because the treatment where we, you know, where them the way them act, them use hypocrisy in Jamaica. They use it, them smiling our face, everything, while in the background, them are manipulate with. You see what I'm saying? So again, it's difficult for the African outside, you know, when them come, them say, you know, them have to experience the racism themselves, and then them get the cultural shock. Then them wake up. You see, so that's why it's so difficult. And again, too, with respect to the African here in the West, we are the glue. You see, because in Africa they have the tribalism. You see, so it's harder for one tribe get together with the next tribe because they have issues, you know. But we can say, look, we know none of the tribe. We are all of the tribe. You know, I'm Ibu, I'm this, I'm everybody. You see, so we can level the playing field. And that's why they don't want we there. Cause them know say we are the glue. So they got to demonize the black man in America. But we going to the top. In spite of what you say happening, the black man going to the top. Nobody can stop that. Nature go take with straight to the top. Cause you see them a do to each other over there in Europe. You see them a kill each other. That's how the white man a do that to him own blood. You know? So we just gotta keep on keeping on. Yeah, it may look dismal, but this thing can spark overnight. May I tell you the truth? You know, it can spark overnight. Cause you know when Marcus Garvey said when all else fail to organize the people, conditions will. I mean, I tell you, some serious days are coming so in America. Some serious days are come. This is just the beginning. So a lot of our people gonna wanna swim out of here and go to Africa. May I tell you? So just keep on doing what you're doing. Because you are the vanguard. You are the vanguard that lead the way. Because millions gonna come behind you, my brother. So
I know that.
keep on
Thank you,
keeping on.
Let me finish what you were saying about
And after, brother, and then before you even do something, let me just drop one little. I mean, I know these are ignorant comments, but these are what some of the fools. This not some, but this one fool right here. This person's called himself FBA, Foundational Butt Broken American. I mean, these characters, man. I'll be telling people, I'm like, family, these characters are hilarious, man. I mean, where did they come from? But this person said these Jamaicans should worry about the Chinese running their country also.
I'm worried about the Chinese in Jamaica.
He comes in another one right here, but there are gangs in Jamaica. Jamaica is, I mean, these people they just listen to whatever and they just prop it up.
Bottom line is, like I said, that only makes our case that we need a global Afrikstan infrastructure, new world order.
And then look at this one right here. We don't like FBA, but he called himself FBA. This guy is funny, man.
It's hilarious, man.
They might troll. They might troll, man. You know? Anyway, me gone sooner next week or weekend again.
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. And then take care, brother, and keep it strong. And brother Kofi, come on in. Come on in. You're up next.
Yeah. Step right up, Kofi. Kofi, what are you doing?
Let's talk once you're unmuted.
Peace, everyone. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, brother.
Yes, greetings, brother. Greetings. Good day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the conversation is real good. It's really, really inspirational, and definitely appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the stories and stuff. You know, the other day I was in Brooklyn. I was doing my deliveries, and
money.
I was in Popeyes.
Hard brother, man. Make that money. Work ethic. Yep.
Yes. I'm back from Ghana. I'm working like an immigrant, man. I'm working real hard.
Ain't nothing wrong working hard, bro. Ain't nothing working hard, man. Shit, nothing wrong with that shit.
I was looking at the Popeyes workers, and I knew they were West African, but I'm trying to see like where they're from. So this Caribbean guy goes up to them. He starts talking to them, and it sounds like he said Mehunye, and in Ghana that means I'm fine. So I was like, oh, you speak tree? You speak tree? He's like, no, I was speaking some like a Niger language, and he was talking about how he was in Lagos. He was talking about how he was in Mali and stuff. And then to the guy, right? He goes like, yeah, I don't mess with those Akatas, and
wow.
and like I mean, before I used to get mad, but I know like the original word for Akatas are like Nigerians who don't know their language. Nigerians who don't know their local language. So the Nigerians that used to go to Nigeria, all they did was speak English. They called them Akata. And when Nigerians got to the States, they look like us, like, damn, they those Nigerians, the Nigerians are looking at the African Americans as Nigerians, but that don't know how to speak their native tongue. So that's what I started to just take the word as. I don't think you should get so defensive. Like if someone calls you a nigga, but in a certain context, it depends on the context. You know what I'm saying? But I I
I'll
like
be
let that go past.
I'll be
And I was just telling like I'm going to Ghana next week. I'll be in Ghana next week to see my family. You know what I'm saying?
like I said, people. I always go on African Millennials channel. I always put, hey, African Millennial, babe, here's your favorite Kala. She cracks up all the time. Your favorite Kala. Yeah, I take the term of endearment, man. You know, he called me a Kala, man. I like it, man. You know, at least we're communicating.
Yeah.
Call me
And like to talk about like when people call us lazy, they don't understand that we have our own like ethnic wars over here with white people. We honestly don't want to do anything that reminds us of slavery. So when it comes to
hold on, I think that's wrong. We approach that right because that lazy thing is coming from white people. Let me tell you something, right? The white people do that all over the world. Black people in America, right? We just internalize a lot of stupid stuff. They say we're stupid. We're gonna say you gonna understand. We don't know. The bottom line is white people are gonna put out negative stuff about us. No matter what. The hardest working people I've ever seen in my life are Black African Americans. Not even close. You know. So
and we also start our own businesses.
It's not even. I see black people. Black people will work 40 years on a job, right, and retire, right, get a pension. Very few people will do that. Mexicans won't do that. You know, Mexican immigrants, they don't do that. They don't work at factories and shipyards, stuff like that, for decades and decades and whatnot, and like that. 'Cause I deal with retirement people and stuff like that. I never see foreigners on a retirement. I see some Filipinos, you know, for the most part, but it's very small. I see like Chinese, right, that are old elderly Chinese, right, and they got to get Medicaid and real low income. And I'm like, what's going on? And my parents, you know, they don't have this idea. No pension, no income because they didn't generate any money. They probably worked in a store or something like that for their family and stuff like that. The only group of people people that really work and pay into the system and everything, generation after generation, Black America. You know, I don't want nobody telling me anything different. If Black America stopped working tomorrow, boycott, whatever, this whole country was shut down. You know, you look at the post office, you look at the shipyards, you look at the airlines, the airports, everything like that. Who do you see? Black America. You know, for generations.
And also,
what I tell you, Kala, about here in Georgia, let people talk that stuff, and Black people don't show up to work tomorrow at the Atlanta airport, and no planes taking off.
Yeah. I like the shipyard in Norfolk and Portsmouth and Newport News. If the Black workers ever unionized and went on strike, shit. They would call in the friggin' Marines to shoot them or whatnot. You know, they would shut the whole thing down. You know, we are the friggin' backbone of this country. Without us, without our labor, this whole country, that's all we have. Because we were never that people that built businesses, you know? All thing we really specialized was labor and skilled labor and stuff like that. We're workers for the most part. Black America wasn't professional or like that. Very few of us really own businesses like that. You know, Black America never was set up like that. Immigrants have businesses and everything, but the thing of business is that people don't realize this, right? And people get jealous. Oh, Indians have a gas station, but they don't understand. Like we understand now, right? We get more educated, right? That Indian guy in your community, right? He has that gas station because nobody in your community wants to do that work. That's not laziness. That's just smart. Because that Indian guy, if you knew what he has to pay on the back end for his stock, supplies, and most times those people, his family, are living in that place that you see the business at. Black America got a high standard of living, right? We're not going to do like the Indians do. We're not going to do like the immigrants do, live 20 in one house. We have a higher standard of living. You know, immigrants they'll have one house and they'll have 3 generations living there. Black America is different, you know? So when people say they're lazy, they're just being disingenuous.
In certain groups of Black people also, they do have such things as like banks. Like you could say it's equivalent to susus. They have banks coming from, you know, decades of I guess you could say black market activity. You know, number runnings. That's how they were able to run numbers. They had banks.
The problem in Black America has never.
They're like street banks.
We've never had a problem with lack of money. You know, all we had was a lack of opportunity. You know, and that's what the civil rights movement was all about. That we're seeing that Black people say, look, I don't want to run numbers forever. I don't want to be hustling. We always have money. You can go out there, win a pool game, make money, and do hustle on the side. Nobody wants to do that forever. But Black people wanted respectability. And just like you look at what Dr. King was assassinated for, the Memphis workers, garbage workers, said, look, all we want is our dignity. We want to have a decent job. We're doing the sanitation of the city. But the city of Memphis is like, oh, you just nothing, niggas, just go out there, live in dirt, no thing, and pay black men like they pay boys and children. That's what the civil rights said. No, we want a decent wage, you know? And the bottom line is before that, when not, no group of people, then we had an example of Cesar Chavez in the Arizona and stuff like that, organized Mexican way, but he was copying the civil rights movement, you know? And we taught these other groups of people how to organize for better wages, you know? We were the one who led the fight, you know, about everything in this country, right? Because the average white American was terrified of their government and terrified, like, show me any real protest in America before black people rose up and started protesting. There was none, you know? There was a lot of people who opposed World War I and World War II. They didn't get out there and protest, right? It wasn't until the Vietnam era where we showed them that you could actually gather in large numbers and make change, social change. That wasn't done like that before we came on the scene, you know? So when people want to talk shit about Black America, I got some smoke for you, you know? The Chinese basically never had a civil rights movement. They gained off of what we did. They basically did what they did. They were satisfied with having no education. Chinese people didn't even go to school. You know, in 1960s, they got free college education from the civil rights movement. They were a neglected minority. And so they created this model minority by giving Chinese people all this money and higher education. And you know what the Republic of China did? They recruited a lot of these Chinese, you know, to go work in China. You know, we never had that break, you know. No one ever gave us free money for education. We had to work for every dime we got. You know, we fought for the civil rights movement, but all these other people benefited from it. You know, so I'm sick and tired of people taking shots at Black America, and we sitting there just sucking up. Oh yeah, well, I don't care what people think. You know, no people, the people of color, minorities would not be in this country if it wasn't for our sacrifice. We sacrificed ourselves to make this country a just country. You know, if we were basically like immigrants, we just care about ourselves and everything. We never were that people. You know, we were that people that if we see people being abused or just, we're always coming to everybody's aid. Now, same people that we help, we're not want to sit here and throw shots at us why we haven't did this, why have we did that. You know, that's just getting so freaking old. You know, it's just getting so freaking old. So we, like I said, we Black America, you know, it's time for Black America just to stand up and say, you know, and the Pan-African movement, you know, is growing. People interested in the African continent, but it has to be done the right way. We have to put our best and brightest forward. You know, we have to come with our credentials. You know, we have to step to the world by saying this is who we are. You know, how many Black people don't even know all the great inventions? We have a whole thing of inventions by our people. You know, who invented things like the radiator and refrigeration under duress. You know, so many inventors, so many brilliant minds Black America created. But we go to other places like we're just dumb. Oh, we're just so dumb. You know, yeah, I'm just that, you know. And I don't want no people around me in the movement like that. I want people who know who Benjamin Banneker was. I want to know who Lewis Latimer was, you know. I want people around me that know the greatness of our people and everything. Why? Because when we have that mindset of greatness, that's a mindset we're going to bring to the African continent. We can't have lazy people who are unread, people who have no work ethic, no nothing and everything like that, talk about they want to be in the Pan-African movement. We got to show them that we come from greatness and we want to continue this greatness. You know, I'm sick of Black people looking at themselves through the prism of white people. You know, they're not around Black professionals. They don't bother learning all the Black people in sciences and everything like that that's going on in Black America. You know, all they know is what they see the newspaper saying about somebody getting shot by the police, somebody getting shot by. That's not who we are. We're not all people suffering in trauma. You know, so why is it that Africa always got to get the trauma people? You know, people in trauma. Oh, I'm just so sick of America. Let me go to Ghana. Let me go to Liberia. Let me go to there. I'm just so tired. Africa don't need that. Africa needs winners. Africa needs its best sons and daughters to come home and build. It needs these people to know who they are, you know? he says, I think that African Americans fought for self-justice because of views, but for ethnic benefits, you know. I don't think so, you know. When Martin Luther King, he talked, and he wasn't talking about just black people, he was talking about everybody. In fact, in the civil rights movement, right, they basically said, part of the civil rights movement, they said they want immigration reform. You know, they was concerned about the Mexicans. They were concerned about everybody. And let's be honest with ourselves, right? The Jews were behind the civil rights movement too. So basically, a lot of things dealing with anti-Semitism was put in the civil rights and everything. So we were never all that. And out of the civil rights came the women's movement and everything like that, and all these other different groups, the anti-war movement and all the stuff like this. Now, the rank and file black person were concerned about black people and everything, but the broader civil rights struggle was about justice versus injustice. Is it just for one race of people, one white man, right, to have everything, right, and have everything handed to him, while you got black men sitting there who can't live his dreams and everything? How can you call yourself a country, right? When Rod Sterling said this, right, and Malcolm X said this too. You know, I don't know if they knew each other, right? He said you cannot call yourself a just country and oppress and discriminate against somebody because of their color and race. You know, and that's what we did. You know, that's what we did. We said that you cannot, we call America on this carpet. You say you're the land of the free, and you say all this. You say you got a constitution and everything, but you got states violating basic human rights and basic civil rights and stuff like that. How can you go to the world and tell the world that you just great democracy and all stuff like this, where you got people suffering in this country just because of what they look like? So we force America to examine itself. And that's the America everybody benefits from now. People have amnesia. You know, before the 1960s, there was nobody, you couldn't get a job doing this, that, and what you want to. Everybody talking about these Vietnamese talking about, I want this job, but I got passed over. Dude, in the 60s, before the 60s, there was no Chinese working in the news media. You know? Are you fucking kidding me? These people have amnesia. You know? There was no African immigrants running for public office. There was no African immigrants doing it. There was no people from Jamaica doing all stuff like that. That's why the Jamaican lady, she's the Wisdom Sears, that's a vice lieutenant governor of Virginia. Love this lady. She said, look, you know, I'm a proud American, but I always give respect to the African Americans that basically paved the way for me to come to America and lived out the American dream.
Absolutely, I agree with that, man, brother. With that,
Yeah.
brother Kofi, I'm not sure what happened. You're on. Make sure you when you're joining us, you have a stable internet connection and things like that. No struggle.
Yeah, I'm back.
That struggle internet, man.
Yeah, man. I forgot what I was gonna say, but I was, I don't know. I was spurred by the spirit of Kala. Yes, Africa Africa needs the skills and they need the professionalism. And I was on Dynas the other night, and one of the questions that Tunajir asked, he was wondering why aren't our like billionaires over here, people like Robert Smith, why aren't they getting in on these deals? And I'm like, look, they're just not on YouTube discussing shit.
Right.
You know, you don't know what's going on. I know Freddie Fingers, he talked about how he's being mentored by Freddie Figures. He's like the telecommunications inventor, and he's working in Kenya. He's partnered with Safaricom, and they're working on all these I believe they're working on semiconductors, you know, the chips that goes into devices. And he gets mentored by Robert Smith. But come on, like you think they're gonna put all business out on YouTube so other companies could just leap into it? You know, there was this saying, the person who leads an orchestra is not a band leader, it's the conductor. You can't be a conductor unless your back is to the audience.
Yeah. Let me say something about that.
And that's what it's gonna take.
That's a lot of African Americans who are all over the continent, right? You know, investment groups, hedge funds, everything like that, you know. But at the same time, let's be honest with ourselves, right? Like Rosenthal broke it down. He said, look, he says, and Rosenthal gives an honest assessment of everything, you know. And, you know, I thought he was going to give me a better assessment of Liberia. And he just said, look, you know, Liberia just don't have the manpower, the brain power, the man. It's don't like on that high level for companies to invest. When companies that are going to do business in Africa, right? They study the education system. They look at test scores. They look at the ease of doing business. There's a whole bunch of factors and everything. A lot of African countries don't measure up. You know, they don't. And then a lot of Africans suffer from a brain drain, which Africans they get there and they don't believe in their country, and they leave and go to the continent. That's why I get annoyed when people keep saying, "Oh, African Americans go to Africa." Dude, the first thing to do is bring Africans themselves back home. You know, and be that base of. If you have to have a pool of intellect in one particular place, you know, there was this one guy that basically back in the day, back in the 90s, right? When they passed the Helms-Burton law, right? Bill Clinton, after he was going through the Monica Lewinsky thing, right? He signed the Helms-Burton law, which is a stupid law, right? Because he wanted to take the focus. He did Bill did everything to appease the Republicans. They came after him so bad when he was going through the impeachment. Anyway, what the Helms-Burton law was, you know, any company that does business in anything in Cuba that track basically American properties gets sanctioned. You know, a lot of companies around the world say, "What the hell is that doing?" Companies in Spain, Portugal, France say, "What the hell?" So you're gonna be subject to the Helms-Burton law. But there was this one guy, this Cuban American, right, who said he wanted to get a cruise ship, right? Think about this. He wanted to get a cruise ship, right? Of 1,000 people, right? And pack it with investors, builders, everything on one giant cruise ship, you know, and anchored off Havana Harbor, right? He said and he gonna send waves of them, right? And these people are nothing but people with bank skills, everything, you know, money, everything, right? And just go into Havana, right? And just start setting up shop. But he said a concentration of brain power. That's what we don't have in the black world, a concentration of brain power. Where's that city? Where's that mega city where the top people, the top business people, the top intellectuals, the top people in the arts, the sciences, everything are converging on things? Because we in the black race have too many ignorant people, right? Influencing the masses of people. We don't have that one place in place. Now, Echo Atlantic could have been that place, but they didn't design it like that. They weren't thinking on that level. We're going to try to get the best people. We're going to get the Robert Smith. We're going to get the people in black entertainment in America. We're going to get all these people from different parts of Africa, right? In one place. And once that place germinates, it'll spread to the rest of the continent. It'll duplicate itself. It'll replicate itself. It's a spiral effect. It's a viral effect, you know? We have not had that one place. That's what the Afrikstan ideology is all about, right? Creating that one place where the best minds of the black race can come and build. You know, we don't have that, you know, right now. And so people are, why is Robert Smith? Why don't go lay down like that? You know, they're disingenuous. How can you basically talk about somebody, Robert Smith, coming to Nigeria? Nigeria is a freaking mess. You know, really. The Africans don't want to do their part. You know, they don't want to do their part. We're used to things working. In Black America, even our richest people don't have the means to suffer the losses like the Chinese and all these other people. They'll say, okay, we're going to lose this because they don't have this, or they'll tell the government, okay, you got to build this road here, factory here, right here, this before we can even start the operation of what we're trying to build it. Do anybody in Black America have that? Does anybody in Black America have a government in America backing us on that level? No. So with us, it's all risk. Mr. Rosenthal talking about what a guarantor is. The guarantor, we have the bullion bank. That's going to be a guarantor of a lot of projects in Africa. But even the bullion bank, right? If a country is too risky, even the bullion bank can't help. The countries in Africa got to get their infrastructure, their social and civil society together.
I was watching this interview with Don Gotti, and he was on a panel with Strive Masiyiwa. He's the billionaire, the telecommunications billionaire from Zimbabwe, and he was talking about how he used to go to other countries and he used to get sabotaged. They used to send him back on a plane. He got deported one time. It's because other people are controlling entire countries. If you
So if
don't do your due diligence,
if
you
you don't do
disappear.
your money will
you
disappear.
could disappear, man.
Stuff will say like this. My boy Sam Cooper was telling me the other day. He said, "Look, man, he had a factory, some of his factory he had, and everything like that. They're ready to do work with that, and suddenly the workers, the driver said, "We're not going to deliver your stuff. They want the money up front. They want to." And he had his stuff all loaded up in the truck. But we're not going to drive. You know, and there's stuff like that you got to go through. You know, in America, you know, it's not possible. You know, it's not possible unless there's an organized union fight. But you get America, especially in Virginia, you can get arrested for that. You know, if you agree to a contract and suddenly you say, you know, something, I just don't want to finish this job, whatever, like that, you can go to jail. You know, you can go to jail. Virginia will put you in jail for for non-completion of public work or something. You know, so there's a lot to it. a lot of businessmen and contractors, they don't have to deal with that. So when you go to a country where you don't have those mechanisms in place, you know, and you're taking all the risks and everything, that's why African Americans are slow to to go to the continent. That's what Africa has to solve. Is there agency set up in any country to deal with African American businessmen and stuff like that to facilitate that? No. You know, the closest thing we have is Brother Bomani here. You know, telling what he knows. But there's no organized agency on the continent, any African country. You know, there's no African American Development Bank on the continent or Diaspora Development Bank and Association to help you get set up and everything like that, or give you counseling and consultation and everything like that to do stuff, or a 1-800 number that you can call and if something goes wrong, then stuff like that don't exist. Because that don't exist, there's not a lot of Black people from America going to the continent. There's a lot of Black people going to other countries doing business because the infrastructure is set up for them to do so. There's a lot of African Americans in Japan right now getting rich, you know, doing businesses and stuff like that, you know. There's a lot of African Americans in Europe, you know, Germany, you know, even Russia. You know, Africa, like I said, that's the motherland, but we have to, you know, do diligence, you know. So that's what it is. So when I hear people, oh, Black people in America could just go to Africa and whatnot, you know, because it's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard in my life, you know. You know, GDP matters. You know, infrastructure matters. Roads, highways, electricity and running water and shit like that, internet connections and all stuff. That shit matters when we start talking about business and stuff like that, large scale business. What do you think about the ambassador lady, Dr. You talking about Dr. Arcana? Now, I ain't gonna say nothing about Dr. Arcana because Mr. Rosenthal loves her. He's friends with her and everything like that. I'm sure she means well, but you know, we gotta keep doing what we're doing. You know, and like I said, Angola is soon gonna reach out to us, you know.
Yeah, brother, you read about something, man. You know, like you and I agree with. There's some people are just misguided.
Yeah.
You know, and they come off too over aggressive or too just aggressive in general. Right. And you know, when you know it's she get very emotional about the US to Africa setup and everything, you know. It's in an intense game of chess, you know what I'm saying? You gotta play your part.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? You gotta look, you know, you gotta look at the, you know, the futuristic moves, you know, because it's all about what? Positioning yourself.
Right. But she was angry because there's 49 heads of state in one place. And let me say this, right? And I want my African brothers and sisters don't get offended by this. A lot of times our brothers and sisters in Africa, right? I think everybody deserves a basic level of respect. You know, I get that. But a lot of times our African brothers, right, you know, if head state, they have failing economies, failing countries and everything, all hell's breaking loose. But they want this honor, you know, just for being, you know. Oh, you got all these African heads of state, but all of them got their hand out, you know. You know, all of them coming there to try to beg and see what they can get. You know, and I agree we should not disrespect, but you know, I agree with all that. But the world don't see it like that. The world, you cannot respect is earned. You know, respect is earned. Paul Kagame, I don't think even showed up to that thing because he's like, I don't need the United States on that level. So he's getting the respect that by doing the stuff without the help of the U.S. But if you're going to the U.S. talking about, oh, we need this and we need that, you know, they're not going to give you the same respect, you know, Dr. Aragana. You know, it just don't work like that. You know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. We got to basically understand the United States does not respect Africa at all. You know, the only reason why the United States is doing this is because they think they're going to win the hearts and minds away from China, which China has 20 years now building stuff, doing major infrastructure. And the United States basically took its hands off Africa and focused on Central America, the Middle East, you know, Asia. And so therefore, Africa was an afterthought. The old time, the Chinese were moving in. You know, and you have a whole generation of Africans who saw the Chinese as somebody who builds. Yeah, Botswana is a good country, but Botswana is small. It's a small economy. You know, Botswana is a good country for a few African Americans and everything like that, but it's a small economy. You know, the economy's small and everything like that. I don't think there's any going to be major push of African Americans. There's not going to be any major, unless Africa builds this sort of infrastructure and stuff and get serious about this. If Angola is serious, they could probably draw the numbers of African Americans to the continent. You know, but the Africans have to be willing to invest. They have to be willing to invest in infrastructure. You know, if you want to build new modern smart cities and everything like that, and then target black leaders in the HBCUs and throughout Black America, hook with the BAIO and whatnot, and you know, you want to help fund us when I can make it happen. You know, but Africans got to come to the table with something, you know. And it's like when you come to Africa, it's always like, oh, you know, we don't have the money, but can you build a road for us? And we're like, shit. You know, like goddamn, don't y'all got a government? Man? Sell some of them government buildings off. You know, shut down your cut your government payroll in half. You know, it's you got to do something. You know, you can't be like, oh, we don't have the money. Like Philip Lindsay about, oh, Nigerians don't have the money. Nigeria had the money to develop all of West Africa, but it blew it. You know, waste. And when people see that, they're like, oh, I'm going to invest in this country. I'm losing my money. Money does not grow on trees. If China wants money, whatever, China will give you $10 billion, they want something in return. You know, nobody builds anything for free. You know, so if the Nigerians can't do that, then they cannot say, why don't Black America come over here? Because y'all don't have your shit together. You know, as simple as that. Your country don't have your shit together. Now, you will have some Black people in America go over there on vacation, and you might have a retiree who has some extra money to build something, but any large-scale stuff like that, until Africa gets itself together, it's not going to happen. You know? Yeah, what you call Botswana got diamonds and everything like that. they're building a jewelry industry. Beautiful thing. There's black people in America out Southern Africa doing in the diamond industry. That's already happened, but they're not on YouTube. Like I keep telling people, Bomani, can we repeat that again? There are black people from America in Africa doing business, right? But they're not on YouTube.
Yes, exactly. So family, most people probably think that that everything runs through YouTube, but YouTube is just not the world. I have a whole lot of people I deal with on a regular basis, and what people always look at me and you as, there's like, these are the crazy ones that get on YouTube, and because we know that it's a way, we have to, you and I, brother, if you and I don't restore the balance, it will be chaos out there, because people think that Pan-Africanism is about these clowns and these characters. That's the best way I can describe them, as clowns and characters, versus people who are about work ethics. And yes, so that's why we always operate late at night, because that's, you have to even call me, brother. I was just, yo, brother, I'll be up early in the morning, and I'm just, the day goes by. Even the same thing, I'm in Africa, and I'm, you're just moving. And that's what you tell people, when you're moving like that. Sometimes I forget to even record videos of me doing certain things, and I tell people I can't record everything. That's the answer I get to people when people ask me questions. Why don't you have this? I can't record everything. I record a bunch of videos, but we can't record everything. A lot of times you have work to do. Like I have a desk, full of from people receipts to updates or something. You have work to do. So these other people, they're just not as multi-talented as people like myself, and they don't have the same Pan-African energy of love for what we're doing.
But they're smart people, and they can get stuff done. They got the connections.
Absolutely, exactly.
And we don't care about their politically. If you're black in America and you're employing Africans on the continent and you're doing business and everything, I support you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to be an RBG waving. I'm done with all
that. You just gotta love black people. That's it. That's what I tell people. You want to roll with me? Love your own brothers and sisters, and be open to working, to helping each other out. Because because at the end of the day, all we got is us. That's how I used to love that song, man. Onyx, all we got is us. Southside Queens.
Onyx, man. Matter of fact, when Onyx came from 40 Project, that's where I used to get my free lunch when I was a kid, man.
And babe, I know you love your free lunch, Kala, but hey, in the world of enterprising, no free lunch.
No, them days over with, bro.
And you know that already, man. You're a man who's building your agency, man. You already know, man. That sometimes you get some free lunch, but it's not really free lunch. You're just getting
Well, they come.
You're getting commended for the work that you and your agency is building.
They come out, they wine and dine us, give us feel on steak and everything. Why? Because I'm producing numbers for them.
Exactly. Exactly. Hey, I'll buy your steak dinner too, man, if you're a producer for me.
That's what I'm saying, man. They're like, yo, man, you guys, they look at these numbers. You should see these white people. You guys, I tell you, I like your face. You should see it, man. We're giving them damn numbers or whatnot,
Well, brother Kala, I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. What I learned from the corporate world is, you just take care of your people. You take care of your folks, and that's it. So people ask me how I do these things. I'll get all these people to operate. You take care of them. They know I don't go back and forth with them. It's like, we agree with something. You get your money. We do the job, and you handle business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you take care of your folks. That's like them folks. That's like the people that you're making all this money to. They say, hey, you know what? I mean, you're making me so much money. Let me just fly down. Let me drive down, and let me just like show some love, and let me just take care of you, do something special for you. And that's what I love about the corporate world. Like that's how, like I love.
And they write it off as expenses. They write it off as business expense.
And then everybody write. You know how it is. Everybody don't play around. They're good at writing stuff off. But it's a level of just. Let me just get my camera on. It's a level of just professionalism of how we treat each other and how we build something together. You know what I mean? Your people work hard for you. Take care of them. Do something special for them. Do something nice. Not everybody could be a boss, and not everybody could be a worker, and someone has to lead the journey. But but somebody also have to take care of the masses of the people and provide leadership, and also just do wonderful things for them. So that's a great example what you mentioned about the people that you connect with in the world of this professional insurance. And I'm telling you, family, hey, it doesn't matter what you build, whether you're in the shipyard, whether you're building, whether you're a plumber or whatever you're building. Hey, it's about entrepreneurship, because whatever you build, it's just like people at one point. This was like, okay, I got this land and it's just no good. It's this, is that. I got to do all this. Next thing you know, you sell the land and then somebody else make about 1 million times more on that land from you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you tell people about true value. What is really true value? Are we just really just gonna look at the glitter and the gold, or are we gonna look at something like, hey, this is a foundation, a business enterprise that you build, a small business.
We need the other thing we need and I don't see this. Most black businesses, right, for the most part, are self-employed thing. You rarely have black businesses with a payroll, a crew, and stuff like that, full time and everything. And like I said earlier in the show, right, I said, look, I'm gonna rehash this, right? A business that Black America needs to get. I don't know how far this is gonna reach and everything like that. Is we have staffing businesses. What have to get on the
100%, man.
Yeah, do I have that? We need black people to organize black labor and capital.
Exactly. You get the contracts and you put your people to work. You build the business, you put your people to work. And that's what I'm telling people. That some of us are doing it on a small scale, but work with us. Like if we get empowered, brother, me and you, we'd be able to, how much people in Liberia and Ghana we'd be able to employ and create opportunities for?
A lot of people. You have a lot of Liberians coming back to Liberia,
And we love our folks there, and we'll love to just do some good things, but we're limited based on our connection and network. But that's that's the possibilities.
Right. And if those of us who are in business, right, somebody says, something, I'm gonna focus on black labor, right? And you can't focus on black labor if you come up here thinking, oh, black people in America are lazy. Are you kidding me? If you believe that, then forget about it, But if you know the truth, right? The plumbers, the landscapers, everything you see around me are mostly black, Now the Mexicans can't even compete, as far as like that concern. The guys who drive the delivery trucks, the guy always like that, all about contract. We got a contract to do this. So if we set up in Africa and people are under a contract, they'll come over there with their crew and come in their crew. And next thing you know, you got people working, buying property, buying this, spending their money in restaurants and everything. And we got thriving communities on the continent, But we need that. But and also we need people to basically not just labor, but we also need people to steer American companies, American corporations to the African continent. That got to be us, because a lot of times what they think about, just like people think Black America lazy. America thinks of Africa as a completely loss. It's not worth the investment.
Like this clown right here. This clown right here keep on making these wild comments.
Help Black America.
No one is responsible for saving you. But one thing about if we work together, we can work together and figure it out together and make it work. And that's what we're trying to do. That's why you don't hear me and Kala talk about ADOS and Ghana and Nigeria. We're not here to divide our folks. We're here to just, and that's what we talk about, our connection in Africa, specifically in Ghana and Liberia. The goal is for us to build that connection from the African continent to America, and from America to the African continent.
And once we're so
not here to sit around on things that's going to divide us, sit around and talk about, because that's all people do. They just come up with things. And that's why, in order for you to be a successful YouTuber, you just got to entertain people. And I'm not into entertaining people. I've been in this, how long I've been on YouTube? Wow, from 2007. Right. And I'm still not into the entertaining thing. What we're doing is just putting up information, sharing the real deal and the real situation of us as a people. So, you can be in America and say, well, Africa never did anything for me. And you can be in Africa and said, the Black Americans never did anything for, or Americans never did anything for me, or stolen Africans, or whatever the situation is. And you can just go back and forth for the next 50 years. And while you're doing that for the next 50 years, the Indians, the Chinese, the Lebanese, and so on are organizing themselves to dominate and take over business that we should be doing in America and also Africa.
And you know what the sad part about this? You want to know the sad part about this is, right? Not only are these companies bringing in their own people, right? They're now organizing black labor in the Caribbean and everything to do their contracts and bidding. You know, nobody black has ever said, you know something, I'm gonna create a multi-billion-dollar staffing business, right? I'm gonna have a corner on I'm gonna have a corner on the black labor market, right? Because that's what it's all about. Because the bottom line is this: if they have to use white boys, it's gonna cost 5 times more, right? Even though we want the same type of money, but black people, they know, and that's why I love our Virginia, right? You see, when you see black crews building roads, you can rest assured they undercut the white boys. They undercut the white boys by something. And in Virginia, they don't give a shit. You can do the job this, or y'all can clears them in 30 days instead of 60, and it's going to cost half as much. You got the contract. That's how things work, in the back. It used to be a time where black men couldn't get a contract. They used to have it so that you always had to work under a journeyman, a white man, The black man, there'd be black crews out there, but the person getting the contract is a white guy. He's sitting in an office somewhere. Now we got black men, right, who are doing major contracts, getting major infrastructure projects and everything like that, right? And that's a change over the last 30, 40 years here in the South, I remember a couple of years ago, it was back in 2000, see some lazy white guys. They're outside the courthouse, whatever, in Norfolk, right? And the guy was like, well, I want to show you my present. I said, look, this guy looks like a freaking bum. He's an electrician. See, this. Let me tell you something. These signs right here. See, this guy, the city of Norfolk gave a contract, right? Black people run Norfolk, right? Gave a contract to non-union electrical workers, right? And I was saying, what's the big deal, right? That's supposed to be union. So they got white people think black people think unions. They think, oh, that's good. I'm going out there fighting for the unions. Well, let me tell you something, right? A lot of those unions exclude black people, right? And stuff like that. So you basically, even though it's a blue collar job, right? It's still white collar politics. That union is going to get $1 million contract, right? And the bottom line, they're making all that money, right? And so therefore, they got these contracts locked up, right, with union. And now, I don't know, in New York and Jersey, just forget about it. The mob and everybody like that. But Virginia's a right to work state, right? Virginia in the South, they don't like unions. So therefore, there's an opportunity there. Because a lot of these white guys, right, who are unions come from other states, right? And they got union contracts to do this and everything like that, that's been grandfathered in and grandfathered in, great-grandfathered in and whatnot. And so they got their pick of everything. And black people don't have shit. But get this, now things are starting to change. You got black people getting city contracts and everything. Black people getting cleaning contracts to clean up this, right? Black cleaning companies getting a contract to clean up the amphitheater after it closes, right? I'll never forget this one time, it was back in 2005. I was working at the Virginia Beach Amphitheater, right? And I was working as a bar back of beer, it was a beer concession stand and whatnot. And you're working with black, white, Filipino, it's all young people, right? All young, we're all young. We're all sitting there chilling and whatnot, right? I'll never forget this. And then as we're closing, right, we're cleaning, getting done, right? I look over, right? It was like on a bridge, and I look over, right, to the bottom. And I see all these black women and older black men lined up. I said, who the hell are they? They're the cleaning crew, all black, right? But then I see some white man come out there with a shirt and tie on, right? And he's giving orders. He got the contract, right? And every one of his workers was black. I said, something's not right about this. But now you go to the amphitheater, right? You got black crews who got those contracts now. So please don't tell me about what Black America is not doing and everything. Don't tell me what Black America is not doing, because Black America is on the come up, right? If you know Black America is on the come up, then you know that we can actually help the mother continent too. Who said they were Indian? Indian. ADOS. ADOS are. I had a rhyme for ADOS, right? What was it? ADOS are American dipshits of Satan. No, American dumbasses of Satan. You know? Oh, American demons of Satan. That's what ADOS is. American demons of Satan. ADOS, FBA is a satanic movement. You know, satanic. ADOS and FBA is nothing. It's not about African America. It's not Black America. It's all about I love America and I hate Africa. That's all ADOS and FBA is. I hate Africa. I don't want nothing to do with Africa and everything like that. That's fine. You don't want like that, but those of us who understand that we're not just born to America, and the African American soul needs a body. And our body, we're like a body trapped with, we're like a soul trapped without a body. And that's what the draw for Africa is. We build in Africa where basically our soul will rest in peace. You know, our soul will rest in peace. So, anybody else gonna come up on the show, brother?
You know what it is, my brother, man. You know what it is, man. Them afraid of you, man.
Come up here and say hello, folks. You know, come up here and say hello. Say hello to the Kala Genesis, you know.
Yeah, them afraid of you, man. You Kala Genesis is like a boogeyman. He's like, you know, say
I'm
my
glad.
name 3 times like Candy Man.
I keep people on their toes, man. See a lot of buck dancing and stupid shit, you know. And I'm not gonna let
You
these
keep
people.
these niggas in check, man. Your brother, the way we hold the line, man. People don't play around, man. They just, they they just, they like, yo, Bomani Kala's gonna get us.
A lot of people fooling around this Pan. Like I said,
This is our life, man. It's a serious movement. We ain't got time to play games.
A lot of people going to the continent doing real things.
You think you think we just up late at night, just on YouTube, just for our health?
No.
This is a joke. You think this is a game?
No, this is for real. It's like the death. You know, I put too many years in this shit to let this go to the way of the minstrel show and shit. You know.
Yeah, you got these people got Pan-Africanism in their title, and they think and it's like they just talking, man. They think chasing after celebrity, so-called fake Pan-African celebrities, like what I mean, like Tariq or Umar is like a crown or something like that. I mean, this.
All those people on YouTube.
I'm like, yo,
Umar do not fucking matter at all.
I mean, it's like this is not about a celebrity or about fame or how many lectures you did or how many states you have traveled to and did lectures, or what I mean, or or whatever, whatever. This is about what can you get accomplished. Talk to them, Kala. Tell them about doing and accomplishing. Kala scientifically break it down all the time.
Yeah, doing is just basically saying you're doing something, just say you're doing, right? That's black people. Black people basically always want to be doing something. They never accomplish a damn thing, Black people just all you have to do is feel like you're doing something, just back, when you accomplish, right, you don't have to brag. Like, let me say, like this, there's people who don't believe in the Pan-African movement. And are we fine with that? We're fine. Hey, look,
no, that is fine because I'd rather for you to be who you are and do your thing versus you to be faking in our movement. And next thing you know, you put us in a bad situation. Next thing you know, I'm depending on you to be a real true G. And then next thing you know, you do something else.
Yeah. And bottom line is, if you're real in the Pan-African movement, you ain't triggered by somebody says you don't believe in Pan-African. I don't believe in Africa. I want to stay here in America. I'm fine with that. I got plenty of family and everything like that. They have no interest in Africa, right? But I know when shit pops off and the shit's really accomplishing and achieving, they're gonna be the first ones to be like, "Hey, yeah." But what happens is you got people trying to browbeat people. Oh, Africa's the future. And they get frustrated because they're not proving anything to themselves. So if you believe in yourself, like Bomani and I, right, you don't worry about what people think. You got this. You believe in this. It's your heart, soul, everything into this. and you did your homework and everything. You know your limitations. You know what you could achieve. Everything has to be LARP, logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical, right? When you follow those principles of LARP or whatnot, you're not worried about nothing. What's logical? It's logical that, we're living in a global world. And the bottom line is, yes, we should basically, as African Americans going to the continent, Africans coming here and everything, we should pool our brain power together. That's logic. That's basic logic. If you look at another example, Asia, right? When you go to Hong Kong, you don't know who's Chinese, who's Vietnamese. You don't know who's Japanese and everything. All you see is Asian people going there doing business, but for decades, together. That's just logic. Why? Because they have similar race. They're in the same region and everything. So it's logical for Black people to come together on the same level, right? And it's achievable, right? Why? Because if we're around other Black people, you're going to socialize, you're going to intermarry, you're going to do business, and you're going to a fellowship with each other, so that's achievable, right? And it's reasonable, right? It's more reasonable than asking somebody protesting for a reparations check, and all this other stupid stuff, or changing the hearts and minds of white people. I'm sick and tired of every time I get on TikTok now, right? And I got somebody saying, the Black people, oh, yes. And this white person said, I just came to realize that I was racist and we got to make the world. So that's what you're waiting on? Is that reasonable? You're waiting on white people to change? No. Is that practical? No. Reasonable is if Black people and African Americans, Nigerians, and Ghanaians are both the same race, we basically like the same music. We got a common history and a common lineage and everything like that together and everything like that. We can work together across different country lines and stuff like that. That's reasonable and that's practical, right? Nothing about integration in America or trying to change America is logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. And I think a lot of Black people are finally waking up to that. So when we start building in countries like South Africa and stuff like that, that was logical, right? Right after Mandela came to office, right? There was a flood of African Americans who went to South Africa. You watch the movie Blacks Without Borders, right? It was logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. The African venture partners, right? They said they was on a back end of $1 billion deal with Richard Branson. Richard Branson doesn't give a shit. He smokes his weed. Virgin Mobile and Virgin Airlines and whatnot. He owns a whole island in the Caribbean. He don't give a fuck who you is like that. He said he didn't like Nigeria for some reason, right? But he does business all over the continent, and he didn't care who he was doing business with. So African venture partners said we could never have done this in Wall Street. We could never gotten to this level in America, And so all these people that were top people, they went to South Africa. South Africa has a good modern infrastructure, and they made a lot of money, and they're doing well. Why? Because the move to South Africa was logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. And so when we talk about LARP, right, the country that you talk about have to have a good infrastructure. They have to have, or willing to build good infrastructure. They have a good labor force, people with a good work ethic, right? Low crime, and politicians that make it business friendly. That's why you see African Americans in places like Namibia and Botswana, right? Mozambique, you got African Americans who are living in Rwanda right now, Tanzania, Kenya and everything. Why? Because they use the LARP method. They use the LARP method. What was logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. Now, if you have no skills and you have no education, you have no backing and everything, going to Africa is not logical. It's not achievable. Or success in Africa is not logical, achievable, reasonable, practical. But if you have all those things, skills, business, connections, everything like that right there, then the right country in Africa is logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. LARP, an acronym. So do your LARP homework, right? What you're doing when you go start doing something or telling somebody else like that, Kofi says, if you own a house, you could sell the house for $300,000, and there goes your reparations. Yeah, but a lot of people don't want to sell the house, Kofi. You know, if you wait on reparations, bro, reparations is a Negro stalling tactic. You know, that's basically saying we're not going to do nothing until the white man. And also, let me say this, bro. Let me say this, right? To all my reparations brothers, man. We want our reparations. And I get into good conversation with people, right? And I be
Hey,
like,
Kala, that was a funny one, man. You talk about stalling tactics.
it's a Negro stalling tactic, right? As soon as we start talking about building and trading with
I
Africa,
think
here comes these Negroes with reparations. Nah, we need our reparations, you know? It's a Negro stalling tactic, right? It's that they know that we get bogged down. That's what it is. The Pan-African movement, right? Then these Negroes are reparations, you know? It's never
tactics.
it went from talking about Black African infrastructure, right? To talk about reparations, and now just talking about just go to Africa. You know, no skills, no infrastructure, no supply chain, no labor staffing thing. You have nothing to bring to the table. If you went to the government of Ghana and said, I got 5,000 engineers in my system, you think they would listen to you? Of course they would, right? The government of Ghana could say, you know something? As part of our bringing people back to the continent, we want this such and such electronic thing, the staffing service, right? To have that contract, right? You could probably bring a few hundred Black people right there as part of a contract. You could be at the table with the Chinese, say, hey, look, you know, part of the give back and everything is we want some of the contracts. Are we even set up like that? Is there anybody in the Pan-African movement set up as a contractor or anything like that? No, we don't have that. Or we do have that, but they're not in the Pan-African world. They're just trying to make money on the African continent. We almost sent two groups of people to Angola 2 years ago, but the COVID-19 happened. You know, the government of Angola said, yeah, we give you the contracts. Yeah, you guys come over there. One of my guys was a fiber optic guy. One of my guys was going to redo Angola's whole cyber security infrastructure and everything. But the COVID-19 delayed that. We still got that on the table. I'm still going to make that happen one day. But the whole thing is they want African Americans that got skills. You got to bring something. You know, you can't show up all dusty and grimy talking about I'm in the motherland now and whatnot. You know, that gets old after a while. That American smell wears off you. You know, now you just somebody that's been taking up space. You know, so if we're going to talk about building Africa, I suggest you join the BAIO. Get together with skilled people on there and start organizing and saying, yeah, how can we create this labor supply chain? How can we start competing or thing? Where we get conference calls. I got engineers from this part of the country and everything like that. We're going to bid on this contract. Are you ready to go? Or not? You know, that's what we need. I don't want to hear nobody talking anymore. I want to see organizing. You know, if you're not going to organize and everything, do the work Bomani does, will take you probably 12 to 13 hours a day on the phone, getting agreements and getting stuff like that, doing your DocuSigns and getting your stuff organized where you say, I'm ready. I got 500 people that's ready on every level, you know, and then you can step to a country and say, you know something, this is what we plan on doing. You know, this is what we plan on doing because you got people on the ground working with you. But if you're not ready to do that, ready to put that work in, then you need to sit back and shut up. Don't tell anybody they need to go to Africa if you're not ready to put this work in. This is work. This is going to take work. If you're not going to do this, why not? Then step aside and let Kala and Bomani do it, you know, and you get behind us.
That's
Kala,
simple. That's simple. Step aside.
Because Zam is a sleeping giant such as Africa. What's Zam? Zimbabwe. Oh, Zimbabwe. It must have been Zimbabwe. Yeah, Zimbabwe is another. Zambia is a freaking country. Is a beast. They got so much minerals and everything, but Black people in America, we can't get past the south of the equator and shit. You know, Mozambique, Zambia, all these countries got so much land and so much resources available. The Congo and everything like that. Angola. They basically saying, man, we want y'all over here, man. And Angola and Zambia is starting to plan building smart cities. you know. And so, therefore, well, when you go there, you got to bring something. I suggest everybody basically now, you're under the age of 35, you should be in a technical school. You should be doing something right with your life, right? So once you got certified, you got this, that, and the other thing, you got your skills, you master your trade and everything, you're ready for war. You're ready for the big time and everything. And then you get together with other people like you do, and now you're ready. We got an association. You know, we're ready to do collective bargaining. You know, and then now these countries in Africa will look at you and take you seriously. And the benefit of that is the Pan-African movement, the repatriation movement. You know, we might be able to one day land 20-year contracts. I know we got black people in America that do construction on roads, bridges, and everything like that, you know, but we got to start organizing people, start recruiting them. Don't insult them. You know, just start saying, hey, look, you know, we're having a meeting in my neighborhood in our of the church on weekend. Why don't you come by? Let's see, you know, like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do this. I mean, I don't know if I do. You might have, you get 100 people in a room, you might have 5 people say, you know, something I'm interested in what you're saying. That's usually how it goes when you're recruiting somebody. And I used to notice, right? You can have a whole, when you do seminars, stuff like that, you have a room full of people, right? Let's say you get 200 people in a room, right? You could bet that out of 200 people, 20 people are interested in what you're selling. Do we have that in the Pan-African movement?
Absolutely, that's how that works.
You know,
numbers game.
It's a numbers game. You know, you got to get out there in front of the people. You know,
this person is a character, bro, for real, man.
saying the white man does not shame anybody. They're winning. They're not. They are not lacking. Africa is though. Well, we're going to change that. You know? We're going to change that. You know. So you think you'll say something to throw us off? No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, brother. Why are people always trying to throw us off our game, man?
It's not going to happen. They can try all they want. That's why we enjoy this. That's why we don't block people, you know, because we love this, you know. You just keep doing what you're doing, you know. And we're going to keep stopping your head.
Keep on being a troll.
Yeah, keep on the energy, right? All you do is piss me off and make me more motivated. You know. But everything we said tonight, people like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share this video, right? Because we have to get this real message out there. You know, we got to get this real message out there. We got to get the message to the people, you know, that this is a war, right? This is a war footing. You know, if we don't do this now, right here, our race is going to be doomed. You know, it's not about us. It's the future. You know, that's why Bomani and I do this. You know, we conference every day. You know, he's building, I'm building, and everything. We're going to do this because we have no other choice. And our future generations, if they remember us, they're going to thank us for us, you know. They're going to say, well, you know, those future generations, when they have what they have, and we have our own communities in Africa, and we have our own thriving cities and everything like that, and kids are doing what they want to do. We have a whole generation that don't know what racism is, that don't know what, all stuff like that, that basically when they get up in the morning, the person they see in their schools is a portrait of Marcus Garvey and all the great leaders that transcended and left us and everything. They're going to know what they're fighting for, you know? They're not going to be listening to no gangster rap music, whatnot. They're going to be listening to the music of the revolution. They're going to be listening to the music of the liberation. They're going to be quoting Kwame Nkrumah. They're going to be quoting Stokely Carmichael. They're going to be quoting all these men that came before us and everything. You know, like I said, our soul needs a body. We cannot let our ancestors die suffering in vain. And nation building, and then the final stage of our liberation is nation building, nationhood. Nation is the people. I say, well, are you talking about having a country called? No, look, we can have a nation, right? We can have a nation inside of America. There's only far what we can do. Like I said before about the Black African American nation in South Africa right now, they're thriving. You know, you could be a nation, right, in a country And so long as the country is majority black, why not? You can have your own community and everything like that, you know, and you can have a sense of nationhood. But we can't have that in America because America forces us to be Americans. And part of being American is, like we saw with this U.S. Africa summit, is when Massa Biden says that he has a plan for Africa, we have a bunch of Negroes jumped up there. Yeah, Massa Biden, we're going to Africa. No, we have an agenda with Africa based on Pan-Africanism, black nationalism, and whatnot. Massa Biden is continuing a corrupt, racist, imperialist version of a relationship with Africa. So the two cannot come together. Well, what do you think we should work with Biden? No. The Biden administration wants the LGBTQ. We don't want that. The Biden administration wants Africa to listen to follow its foreign policy. It doesn't like Russia. Russia's never did anything to us. So what the hell do we got to hate Russia for? So this is what we're talking about tonight. You know, there's American have a thing, it's a big conflict. It's always been like this, right? Black people in America have gone over to Africa, right? And we thought a lot of our people in Trans Africa and a lot of groups really thought they were doing the right thing. America had the right idea. They were talking about the right things, human development, everything. But after all these years of America and Africa, I don't see any improvement. You know, it's almost like America it's almost impossible to do the right thing. Look at America and the Philippines. The Philippines is the most backward place in Asia. Why? Because of America. Look at Central America, right? Why do we have all these whole countries? The CIA, a little Guatemala, wanted to control the banana industry, Bomani. All they wanted to do was grow their bananas, export it. U.S. Fruca, Unitas, U.S. fruit company, that fruit, Chiquita, banana, right? People think that's good. That's a U.S. company, I think based in Ohio. Had the CIA overthrow a government, right? That's what we call the Banana Republic come from. And basically got their fruit companies back, right? And the people there are starving. They want a price for that. They want to sell their own bananas and have their dignity. The United States says no. Same thing what happened in Chile when they installed Pinochet. They tried it with Castro, but Castro was too smart for them. America has almost no ability to do the right thing. So now America wants to come to Africa and turn Africa into Central America. We're not going to let that happen. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Excuse me. Oh, I'm getting ADOS invented this. The ADOS person, we're starting to get to them, Bomani. You know what I'm saying? We're starting to get to them. Stop scapegoating, you know? Yeah. We just told the truth about America.
What they talking about? Excuses, stop scapegoating.
How we scapegoat? I just told the truth. People don't like hearing this stuff. That's why they hate this show.
Biden.
You know? Yeah, whatever, you know. African men wear wigs. I don't know. I never seen that, you know. You talking about the Parliament buildings? I don't know.
Yeah, another one right there.
What do you think about HBCU hooking up with Zambia doing RNA to manufacture? Yeah, I'm all for it. But you notice that these HBCUs that's doing that, I didn't hear about that because it's not on YouTube, you know?
Everything got to be on YouTube, right?
Now, Baruti, right? If you really want to help the Kala Genesis out, right? You will find these people, right? And get these people to the Black African Infrastructure Social Network so we could be on the same page.
That sounds like work. That sounds like work.
That sounds like work. It's so hard. But these same motherfuckers be on Facebook sharing their baby bottom pictures, you know? You know, we ask them to come to a Black African Social Network. I can't do that, man. Can't do that. You know, if you want to see change, the first step is join the BAIO Social Network, download the app, right? Share it with a friend and everything. upload stuff and information so we can understand all this stuff, you know? I would like to know more about that. I have a Zambia chapter. I have one of my guys, Mapukwe. He's my guy in Zambia. That's my guy in Zambia. That's my right-hand man in Zambia. You know, I got a huge base in Zambia. But if people don't want to join the BAIO and everything like that, what can I do? People want to be entertained on YouTube all the time. They want to do some freaking real work. You know? YouTube is like the biggest hindrance to this movement. I'm serious. Instead of people knowing about stuff like this, everybody listens to YouTube characters. You know?
Yeah, brother. It is a shame, a dirty, dirty shame. These people are unbelievable. The dirty shame.
Yep. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yes, unfortunately, it's one of those situations.
Yep.
But you're dealing with these people, man. I'm telling you, man, it's a painful situation.
Yep. That's why we give Ghana one thing, right? I got to look at some of your videos, man. Ghana does got a decent infrastructure to start with, you know, not the best, you know, but something you could, it's livable, you know, it's doable for the most part. We just got to step it up to make it more of an industrial infrastructure and stuff like that, you know, and what you call, you know, I have a couple of guys, Ghanaian guys, that tell me, yeah, man, I would like to build, upgrade Ghana's ports and everything like that. I said, well, we definitely need that, you know, we definitely need a port in Gajazi, you know, that area, right? We need a port over there. We need stuff like this, you know, but you know, it's gonna come, but it's everything. Infrastructure, organizing us on a high level and stuff like that we're ready and everything. So when it comes out, we can look at what we did wrong. You got the Lebanese saying, Lebanese getting these big contracts in Africa, right? They're using African labor. Indians using African labor and stuff like that. China use African labor. That could be us. But we're not organized. You know, when you have a corporation business, it's an organization. You have management, and then you start staffing it, right? At different levels. You know, you have different departments. If we got people that got MBAs and everything, they should know this. You know, where's the model of a corporation? We got mid-level management, high management. You got maintenance supervisors, everything. We should be able to put down a corporation, how we want to operate on paper, and then go and start building people, sending out things and collecting resumes. So when the time comes, you say, hey, okay, we got the human resource department and everything like that. Everything starts with I talked about LARP, right? But another thing people have to understand is the thing of EPCOM, right? Now people say, well, Kala, what is EPCOM? EPCOM, EPCOM. That's an acronym. That's engineering, procurement, construction, operations, and maintenance. Those are 3 divisions of logistics. So when we set up our EPCOM in Ghana, right, we're going to have an engineering department. We're going to have a procurement department. What does engineering do? Engineering is responsible for designing and building, architect, and stuff like that. That's engineering. Then you have procurement. Procurement is the supply chains. You know, your purchasing, all the stuff like that. So you may have a worldwide supply chain network. You have procurement. Now, and then you got construction, operations, maintenance. Now, here's the thing. We can start our own EPCOM, right? But our engineering might be a partnership. Our procurement might be a partnership. We probably don't have the logistical thing to handle procurement ourselves. So we have to, what we do, outsource, right? And then at the time, right, we start basically replacing the outsourcing companies that we outsource that supply us, right, with our own. Say, well, operations, right, that's your day-to-day functions and everything like that. That should be run by us, you know, and construction, same thing. The maintenance is maintenance and upkeep, right? All those work in sync. For example, the maintenance department has to go to the procurement department to get some parts and supplies. When you have all this working together in an EPCOM system, right? Everything runs seamlessly and systematically. But I put together an EPCOM program years ago, right? And I tried to organize engineers and everything like that. Say, look, we got to be ready.
That sound like work, brother. That sound like work.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I know.
If Negroes when you talk about serious work and research.
Yeah, but bottom line, once we ever get the money, and the BAO really gets the money, we're gonna put all this together. We're gonna put it together. Everybody, all our enemies and our detractors, gonna shut up. But we know we have it on paper. We have it in our minds, in our hearts, what to do and how to do it. So EPCOM and doing things as LARP, logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. That's the future of nation building. Building our own EPCOM and doing things the LARP way. And we won't fail. We may not get 100%. We might have to partner with the Japanese on procurement, on engineering, on construction, things we can't do. That's fine. But one day, we'll be at 100%. Maybe in our lifetime. But we have to start somewhere. Japanese, right? Do you think Toyota and all these other people just started by themselves? No. They were all partners with British companies, Ford Motor companies, everything, right? Then over a time period, right? They got it. They was able to do it all by themselves. By doing things that were logical, achievable, reasonable, and practical. You understand that? I hope people got a good lesson tonight, folks.
Let me see if anybody wants to come on in before you close.
Right.
Unless you got a whole lot more to say, it's all.
Not really, man. It's getting late, man. I gotta get up in the morning. But if somebody wanted to come on and say something,
yeah. How about we let Knock Sleazy in so you and him can talk?
Oh Lord. Let's see what does he have to say tonight.
I ran him off YouTube, so he don't come on this channel. He don't come around anymore. No.
He said he was gonna come on.
He's always welcome to come on. He just can't keep up his antics. You know what I'm saying? I'm about proper dialogue. I'm not about foolishness. That's what, and he's gonna learn that about me. That I don't take these insults and these things personal. But if you want to dialogue as a real man, we can dialogue.
Yeah. And stop thinking we're gonna change our minds or whatever like that. We'd have to be our underlings you could probably get to. But us,
we're gonna make this repatriation energy work. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not, like you said, we're not the people that be telling you to bum rush the coast.
I never said bum rush the coast, man. I never told anybody to bum rush the coast. Some of you Negroes need to stay right here and get a job,
Get a job. America. Hey, don't forget UPS is don't forget Amazon is hiring.
Amazon, UPS. I got email today. UPS is hiring. No lie. You think I'm joking, man?
That's how Biggie Smalls dropped back in the days, but today Amazon is the business. So you know what I'm saying? Don't be mad. Amazon is hiring.
Yeah, Amazon's hiring. Look, I got a thing today, man. Some
could have been a cop.
Some random email, man. UPS. I know I got it. So yeah, UPS hiring now and whatnot. I support this. I don't know where I did with it.
Let me drop some Biggie Smalls on them.
Yeah. Don't be mad. Niggas
don't want to. Amazon is hiring.
Amazon hiring.
You should have been a cop with that hip hop. You're about to get shot.
Should have been a cop. Hip hop. That freestyle.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one, right?
Yeah,
absolutely, man. So we tell them, hey, hey, it's nothing wrong with getting a job. It is nothing wrong with working for someone. It is nothing wrong with it. Whether they're a racist redneck devil or whether they're that black devil that you just love to hate or just hate to love.
There's gonna be a Negro
Only
pig,
thing I tell folks
a
is
white
get their
devil.
money. And for them young boys, hey, you know what I'm saying? You may have to just join the military. You know what I'm saying? Depends on your score. You may end up in whatever branch.
Join
But hey,
the National Guard, join the Coast Guard. You know, people don't
yeah,
understand the Coast Guard. You might end
yeah.
up in Iraq, but you know,
Go
join something, man.
Hey,
Get some
Coast Guard,
skills.
go chase down the narcos.
Yeah. No, but you know, a lot of Coast Guard people was in Israel, was in Iraq. I said, what the hell are you doing?
No, I didn't even know that.
You
I
know,
thought they
my,
just,
my,
I
my,
thought they
cousin,
just kept them
my
somewhere
cousin
in the
Don, his wife,
Caribbean Sea.
Lisa, right? She was in Iraq when they were doing the roadside bombs with that, and I was like, what the hell is Lisa doing in Iraq? She's a Coast Guard. I said the Coast Guard is supposed to be guarding the coast. What the hell is she doing in
Guarding
Iraq?
the coast, exactly. See,
What the hell is she doing right? They don't care. What even you're in the National Guard, they were so desperate for people, they were just pulling people out of putting people from the Coast Guard. They'll be anything over in Iraq, and people like, yo, they say that she got after she done that one tour, she got out, man. She's like at night they would do a prayer, right? Because the IED bombs and whatnot, you know.
yeah, and that's not even funny because I've known folks, man. You get your whole stuff blown up, man. Your legs gone. You just done, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's and I know that's like people, people. Yeah, and these are unfortunate. These are the casualties of war, and I've never been to war before. And I mean, I was in the Navy doing peacetime. You know, I mean, the ancestors prayed for me and said, "We're gonna get you back."
And there's no war. And there's no war right now. You can go to the Coast Guard and get yourself a certification and get.
Yeah, skills. I mean, there's only war that's going on is that fake war in Ukraine and
ain't nobody going over there, man. So
Ukraine and Russia.
You can go to the military. You can go,
and if you if you U.S. military, they got you somewhere in like Italy, somewhere chilling, hanging out, probably in some luxury villa, enjoying paradise, because you ain't seen no war. They got you on standby because you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you will be standing by.
You can go to the Navy, you can go to the Army, get some skills.
What did Putin say? If you see U.S. and they folks crossing certain path, it's all out war. So they just like laying low.
Yep. So
but in general, I tell people score high enough and get you a technical position. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to join nobody's military, and I'm not trying to get nobody give me no guns. Like people ask me all these questions all the time. Like, did you have this? I was like, yo, beyond basic training, that's the last time I saw a gun. And that's the last time I saw a gun in my life. That's not what we do. You know, you're a technical professional, whether you're flying aircraft systems or whether you're maintaining them or whether you're just running operations. You know, you're doing things to keep a whole operation floating. So you can either choose to fit that position, or there's nothing wrong with being a soldier or a Marine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we do need people to go out there in times of, you know what I mean, when it hit military skills. Well, you know, when it hit the fans, you need people to go out there and take bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And go out there and
some of that military training on the continent. You know, got a lot of guys that in the BAO, the ex-Marines and stuff like that know tactical stuff like that. You can build. So my boy David Hitt, man, he's ready. He's ready. He's a time coach.
Yeah, people that do things like that. People like myself, I tell them right that the brain power, tactics,
like Marcus,
operations,
Marcus
execution.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Marcus Overton, he was in Fallujah. You know, he got a body count, man. He was in Fallujah, the thick of the Fallujah war.
Yeah,
Iraq, you know,
those are dirty. Well, he's a Marine. Dirty battles, right there.
He was an army.
It was an army.
Yeah.
Straight part of a platoon out there.
Yeah, and he got blown up and whatnot, and he got injured and whatnot. But he went out fighting. Well, the machine guns, man. He saw death. Man.
It sucks, man. You out there.
Sometimes.
You're right. I mean, you're right there by your friends. I mean, what? How do you feel? I mean, I don't have that experience as as a sailor. But it's like, how do you feel if you're just out there and you're out there fighting, and then you see when you
realize this is real.
You see when your friends just get blown up. It means, come on, brother. Wouldn't that traumatize you? You're right there with your friend. Next thing you know, you get shot in the head. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
what kind of? I mean, what kind of serious trauma that brings to you. That's why I respect people that's out there in the battle zone. So my young brothers, when I mentioned to them, I tell them, I was like, yo, study and test high and get your technical position. Even that, I mean, if you're on a you're on a naval ship, all it takes is a Russian torpedo to hit you a few times, you're down.
remember the USS Cole? Remember USS Cole? They in the Persian Gulf.
Where was that? That was out there in Yemen.
And that was in 01. I had this one white guy that I was friends with. He was on the Cole. He ended up committing suicide. You know, he said these terrorists drove up to the thing, suicide, drove up to the Cole, right? And they were told that these are friendly people, waved to them, whatever.
And they just blew.
Yeah, they blew themselves
up.
Yeah,
I do remember that. I do remember that year. Yeah.
You know?
And it's the nature of the situation. I tell people that, you know what I mean, whether you're on the flight deck and a plane crash and lands on top of you, or whether you're somewhere and then next, some crazy set of folks just bomb you or whatever, but I'm also telling people that's, just like you look at that, you can be in the living room studying, next, people start shooting, you know what I mean? So I'm telling people, don't take that personal. It's like, it's what it is, but I'm just saying, letting people know that you have opportunities, and that's still one of the best opportunities for you to learn certain skills, get paid, and get certain experience.
And learn some discipline. Learn discipline.
Because we do need our folks with discipline. Learn to listen and follow directions and pay attention to details. Because when you come work and come and connect and network with people like myself, we're expecting you to have yourself organized to where you can, you're a person that we can work with. You know what I mean? Yeah. Instead of being like some people, brother, they're just so disagreeable. You know what I mean? They're so difficult. I'm like, yo, you don't need to be this difficult, man. We just need to, you know what I mean? We have something we need to work together on. Let's get it done.
Yep.
Now, but don't forget, family. You know what I'm saying? Amazon is hiring and the U.S. military is hiring. Let's keep our people employed. Get out there, get something. That way, you become a productive member of society, so we can work together. Because if you are lazy with no work ethics and expecting free lunch, we can't do nothing with you. Like my issue is like folks like, I want to go to Africa. I want to get this citizenship. I want to get free land. I don't want to pay for no visas. I want this. I'm like, yo, slow down. I'm like, slow down, family. I was like, so you're supposed to go to a developing country. You want all this free. So by the time they give you all of that, what are you gonna do for them? Yeah. Most of them, when I ask them that, they got nothing to say. They're like, well, we're stolen. I was like, come on, you gotta come better than that, man. Yeah, we're stolen to slavery. I was like, no, that's not gonna work, man. You gotta come better than that.
Yeah, you gotta come. That's why I said I don't even want that energy in Liberia. Oh man,
the key thing right there, right? It said no free lunch. Brother, I've been proud to pay. I've spent a ridiculous amount of money on visas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Togo, Benin, Ghana, the Gambia, Kenya, Egypt. I'm trying to remember other countries. Ethiopia. Visas. But if no one pays for the visa fee, if no one pays for the entrance into the African Holocaust dungeons or the slave dungeons, then how do you pay your employees in the country? How do you maintain the facility? So when people say, "Hey, Bomani, why do we have to pay to go into this African Holocaust dungeons?"
Because people got jobs.
Because this is a 21st century world and economy where you should be collecting more tax, but at the same time too, the entrance fee, which pays for some of the employees and pays to maintain the place. So no entrance fee, no employees working there, and no maintenance. So do you want to go to a facility like that? I do professional international tourism. So when we go places, I'd rather pay the money and go somewhere where you have actual workers there and the place look halfway decent versus what it would look like if it wasn't. Because government funding can only get so far. People have your facility have to generate income. So yes, so you have an African Holocaust site. Pay the entrance fee, whether you're a white person or black person. Yes, I understand. You feel a certain way as being a black person. So, you not paying the entrance fee is not going to change anything. It's not going to make a difference. It's actually going to make things worse. And that's for all of the people out there that run their mouth, that talk all that stuff. Because some of these people, that's all they know how to do is just run their mouth. Well, I shouldn't be doing this in Africa. I shouldn't be doing this. I was like, how about this? How about you stay your punk self in America and sit there and watch what goes on in Africa, and let's monitor it. The Chinese, the Indians, the Lebanese, and so on. Next thing you know, as a matter of fact, it's not even that there's a threat in Africa, it's a threat here in America. So you sit around in America and sit around and do nothing to contribute to the flow of the black economy here, and you do nothing to contribute to the flow of the black economy in Africa. You just out of luck. You're gonna be out of luck.
And that's what
complain when everyone owns everything, and then then next you have sons and daughters, and your children can't even get a job because the Lebanese, the Chinese, the Indians say, hey yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hiring you people, man. You people need to create your own jobs. I got my own children to feed, which you cannot be mad at them for saying that, because realistically, what do they have? Their own children and family to feed. Because what people are gonna do, they're gonna keep on running this stuff about racism, brother. I'm sick and tired, brother. I'm not joking. I'm sick and tired of hearing about racism. I'm sick and tired of hearing about reparations. I'm sick of all of it. Because the thing of it is, no matter how much me and you complain, whether on the job site or wherever, it has not made a difference.
Nope.
So it's like you're telling people like, yo, you're gonna have to step your game up beyond that, because now you have other nations of people coming along. Last I remember, it's like 50,000 Mexicans and South Mexicans and other people. I apologize if I'm sounding derogatory, not trying to offend anyone, but you have a whole lot of people right there at the borders of America trying to get in, and they're gonna make their move in, and you're gonna have to compete against them, because even when you look at today's modern day people, maybe 15, 20 years ago, you may be able to say certain things about certain people from Mexico or certain other places. But now what are they doing? They're dominating their society.
Yeah, so, they got their own staffing business.
Telling our people, stop sleeping on all these things that's going on. There's no one coming to save you. You're gonna have to compete. You're gonna have to do black cooperative economics. You're gonna have to work with your other brothers and sisters who believe that they're black and everything. So I'm telling people, that's what our topic is tonight, Kala, right? Work ethics, no free lunch, right? Get your money right. Hey, do you want to play a Kanye song? Get your money right.
I got my money right. Can't tell me nothing now, you know. You got that person. When you get your money right and you got 5,000. I remember when Xavier, brother Xavier, the one that has a weed business, he went to Ghana with you one night. He spent that $4,000, right? He said he had a ball, right? He said he had to spend $4,000 because child support, right? Then he went on one of your tours. He said, man, that was the best fun I ever had in my life. He fell in love with Ghana, but he was like, basically, he had the money, right? He said, man, that was the best. He had to spend $4,000. I'm put his business out there. He had to spend $4,000, but he used to put it on Facebook, right? On child support. Then he spent like another $5,000 with you. He said, man, he had a ball, man. Chief X. That's Chief X. Remember? Chief X said, I had a friggin' ball, man. And he said, I want to go to Ghana. I said, man, my boy Bomani. Trips, right? He went on your trips, man. He never regretted that, man. He had a ball, He had his money right, Went on there, had a trip of life. That's why I said, man, you guys want to do something for the movement, man? Get your $5,000 together, right? And go on one of these trips and have a trip of a lifetime, right? And then bring your ass back and get to work and make some more of that money, That's what we need, Chief X went on your tour, man. He had a ball, bro. He said, yo, he came back a new person, man. I don't know what y'all did on that trip, man, but
Oh yeah, that's my good brother, man.
I don't know what y'all did, Bomani, but he had a ball.
We got them all connected and everything, bro. So
I said, yo, you want to go to Ghana?
I mean, brother, it's the energy, man. I mean, you're around, you're around. I mean, and the thing about it, when we deal with the operation, you deal with me and my crew. You deal with like, I mean, if you never ran into real black men, when you run into us, you're like, yo, these are real brothers, real black men, real men of honor. Because unfortunately, many of our brothers are not holding the line. So that's what we do. We hold the line and so strong. And just so any brother that come around, man, they just appreciate the energy of just real brothers.
Real brothers getting together, having a good time, man. Then the possibilities when you're over there and you're around your people and everything like that, you say, man, we could do something here, man. We could do something here. So, but you gotta have that energy, man. You have to have that energy of people getting together, fellowshipping. Let me tell you something, folks. Fellowshipping and socialization is the best part. Why do you think the black church got so much done in Black America over the years, right? Fellowship. You know, when people fellowship, people call each other brothers and sisters, and they go in places and organizing revivals and everything like that. You could do a lot, man. What happens is we have a whole generation of black people who don't have any fellowship with each other outside of social media. You know, they don't know their own community. They don't know the the potential of their own people. You know, so they have a negative attitude, like they can't do nothing, you know, by themselves and everything. They think, oh, black people, they're looking at black people through the prisms of white people. White people think they don't see us as professionals and think people can do something until they got to work with you. Then they're like, oh, yeah, you know, yeah, that was a whole black crew that fixed the roof on my house and whatnot. Yeah, they got it done. I had 4 white crews out here. They couldn't do it. Black crew came in there, boom, you know, that changes their perceptions of us. You know, we always got to keep proving ourselves to other races. But what I don't get is, why do we got to keep proving ourselves to our own people? You know, our own people don't believe in us. You know, that's sad. So we have to basically be that people that we have to get to know who we are. You know, when you get people around and people got skill, we got black people that do every sort of profession in the world. We have a lot to offer the world. You know, but you're not going to get them unless we fellowship. You know, yeah, you know. Our whole crew, we got this guy's an engineer, this guy's doing this guy does banking, this guy does finance, this guy does this guy's into logistics, it's like that. You know, when you start getting brothers together and your fellowship and out of respect, and everybody got respect for each other and everything like that, then you believe each other. But we're gonna sit here and clown and joke and make it seem like we're just sitting there. I hate when I watch YouTube and I hear people talk about what black people ain't doing. Oh, black people ain't doing, black people ain't doing. Get away from me, you know? You know, that's because you ain't out there in the community. You're not meeting black people. You're not socializing. If you're socializing black people, you understand, man, we could do anything. You know, we could do anything white people, Asian, anybody else do if we get together. You know? So, all right, but man, you want to cut it down, man? It's like 3 o'clock, man. I want to get some breath.
Yeah, Kala. Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Appreciate your energy. Good connecting with you as usual. So, family, thank you for joining us on another wonderful live stream. Me and Kala getting it in on the late night shift. And so you take care, family. We keep you posted. Remember, you know, my contact information is right down here. We'll posted the BAIO link and things like that. So you want to really deal with us or really connect with us because we're working all the time. Reach out to us and we'll connect with you while we're working. And then we can just join some active energy. But this YouTube stuff is not the end all be all. It's actually a distraction, but
Right.
it's also a good way to connect with good people like yourself. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Keep us connected, and you know, we'll catch you on another live stream in a few days. Beyond that, I got a bunch of videos I'll upload from our last journey to Ghana and Tanzania, as we're always uploading videos and pictures online, and also get some on the BAIO network as we work on some blogs and a few things to get the energy out there. So definitely, brother, you know, you take care, and we connect back with you. Next time we'll be live again, family, is Saturday night and late night shift. And I'm sure Kala got a lot to say. We'll have a lot more to say coming up soon.
Man. You know, of course, man. You know, this show was necessary tonight, and like I said,
this is like a therapy, right?
Yeah, without the show, man, I lose my mind, man. You know, I lose my mind. And thank you for Saturday night show. We're almost at 600 views. You know, 600 views from Saturday, whatnot.
Yes,
you know,
social responsibility. And I'm telling people that, you know, I mean, you talk about your Pan Africanist, and all you do is talk about Tariq, you talk about Umar Johnson, you talk about Joe Biden, Raphael Warnock. You're not serious. We can't even take it serious. So yeah, I'm telling people
about what's going on in the continent.
You know, get with the kings of Pan Africanism and nationhood, and let's build together, family.
All right, brother Bomani. Peace.
All right, you take care. Take care, brother.